as AI, whether it has military, commercial, financial applications, if you're picking up or depending on the servers being in a different country.
Absolutely. You don't want to be doing that whatsoever, Sri. Very, very valid point. But just, again, look at this. Look at this signal right here. This could be a potential topping signal as well, too. So keep an eye out on this one. Just going over things from a technical standpoint. You get the gap up, and then now you're starting to cool off. Indecision print at a high. But guys, it's 155. I forgot. That's why we're going to roll. I thought we were going to continue this rolling. So we'll wrap this up quick, guys. We got the Fed rate decision coming up in a matter of minutes. We're off to a dare, guys.
Hi, guys. We do have only 5 minutes until this FOMC decision. The Nasdaq nicely here in a bit of an uptrend, contrasting sharply with our choppy nature earlier today. As we await this Fed decision, we are widely expecting a cut, though there are, a hold. We're expecting a hold here, but some sources are saying we could potentially have a couple voters dissenting. That would be, I've seen that widely considered to be either Fed's Waller, Fed's Bowman, or both, because they've both expressed interest in potentially cutting in July, should there be enough data to support that. So certainly going to be on watch here. Let's see what happens with this market. Again, we are expecting the Fed to hold rates. A September cut is still priced in, but this July hold seems very much likely to happen. It's interesting enough, we actually have JP Morgan's Bob Michel saying that this dissent is very likely. So let's see if we actually get Fed's Bowman, Fed's Waller, or both deciding not to vote with the majority here. We know Fed's Bowman already voted against the majority back in September of 24. Let's see what the guys are thinking ahead of this meeting.
Thank you very much, Adara. You know what we're thinking.
Long.
No change. No change.
I better get
Market's trending up, so why would it do anything other than what it was already doing? Because we're not going to get a change. And then Powell's going to explain what he's looking for, labor market, and then hopefully we'll get some sense of, hey, if we get 2 dissents, I don't know. We had Mitch in the morning. I'm hearing an echo. We had Mitch talking about how he's looking into there's not going to be a cut in September. Well, if you got 2 dissents, they're cutting in September, straight up. If it's at 60%, I'm feeling pretty good.
I think the labor market there on Friday is going to tell us the story.
Well, that's the bigger thing. The only thing that will change my mind is some kind of a. It would have to be a really strong labor number on Friday. But look, in a couple of minutes, we're going to get no change. Everybody. Mm-hmm. You know, I feel like if it ends up a nothing burger, remember at 2:30, when we get that Q&A, that's when you can get a little bit more movement. So you got to be locked and loaded. And then keep in mind, we got a boatload of earnings after market tonight. So there's plenty that can move the market. I just don't know how much it's going to be the Fed.
Yeah, this Fed is kind of irrelevant at this point, as you just said. I think we are waiting out for the big earnings plays that happen the next few days, right? 4 of the Mag 7 are reporting with Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, and Meta. Coming. And tonight, Microsoft and Meta, so it's going to be absolutely huge. I mean, just looking at what the Nasdaq is doing, we can look at the triple Qs again, or we can look at the Nasdaq contract itself, starting to get back there up to the upside, and we're at the day's high. So remember, we're 98% chance that there's going to be no rate cut at all. So if that's 98% and we're at the high, then when we get no rate cut, I mean, I don't expect necessarily this thing to rip. I think it'll probably just stay neutral. I guess maybe it's pricing in 2% chance of a cut. I mean, and if we don't get it, then maybe we drift a little bit lower. But I'm still thinking that we buy any dips that happen here the next little while. Powell's going to take the podium. Adara's had some fun, cute things to say about the ties and things like that. So we'll have some fun with it. We'll have a look to see, you know, how he feels, maybe the posture, what some of the questions are, how quick he is potentially to answer them. You know, the confidence there in his voice and whatnot. But again, Trump is going to be speaking probably as soon as this rate cut happens. I think that's a bigger story there. Powell's, I don't think he's in any fear of losing his job, although that kind of goes back and forth there, depending on which way the wind blows. But for right now, yeah, the triple Q's in play. There again, the dollar today moving around. This is the DXY rate here. And whoopsies, don't want to click on that. It's starting to go bye-bye. It was starting to go to the downside just a little bit here as we get ready for this number. There it is right there. Downside rate here for the dollar the last little while. So, yeah, we're still excited to see what winds up happening here today. But that's the dollar, and we've got Adara ready for the rate announcement in 10 seconds.
And actually, just in time here for the Fed decision, Trump concluded his remarks at that bill signing ceremony, so we're gonna have to wait and see what happens here again in 5 seconds now. 4.5% is the expectation here. We are expecting a hold of rates. Let's find out what happened here. We got no change. This came exactly as expected, 4.5% rate. Let's see what the Nasdaq's doing here. A little bit choppy on this slightly lower high for the Qs. Let's take a look at the S&P 500, looking pretty similar. Again, they did leave rates unchanged. I'm going to continue to read here. Apparently, they did actually remove language in their statement saying that their uncertainty has increased. So it looks like the uncertainty could be a little bit lessened. I'm going to read through this statement and get back to you guys. We'll send you back to the guys to see how this market's reacting.
So market, as expected, not really doing too much. Yeah, we did exactly. Good call there. Two people dissenting there. You could see right there the market does go down on the dollar just a little bit, and now trying to get back up. So that's what's happening in the DXY and the U.S. dollar index. But there goes the Nasdaq. So we wanted to watch that out. Kind of just like any normal 2 o'clock day. We want to thank everybody for watching. Make sure you do hit the like, the subscribe, get involved immediately. But yeah, no real movement there at all in the market, as expected. No rate cut at all with 2 dissents. So as Adara sort of goes through it all and parses through the information, we'll go back over to her, and we'll go right now when Fed Chair Powell speaks at 2:30, but Adara speaks now.
Yeah, both Waller and Bowman did dissent here, so we did have, as expected, for the first time since 1993, that would be 33 years, we did have 2 different governors both dissenting here from this vote. They voted in favor of a rate cut, whereas of course we know that the rest of the Fed actually voted to keep rates solid. They said unemployment remains low and that the labor market conditions remain solid. I'm looking here for that full statement. I'm just going to again continue to read through this. But one thing they did say is that the growth of economic activity has moderated in the first half of the year. Previously, they said it was continuing to expand, and they also said that uncertainty about the economic outlook remains a bit elevated. So let's see what happens here. Not many changes, though it is worth noting in the statement. Usually we see a couple more changes. They kept the statement more or less the same. And again, it is worth noting both Waller and Bowman voted to actually, cut rates, whereas everyone else voted to hold. Back to you. Nothing really new here other than that.
Okay, I'm just going to punch out of everything. We only have NVIDIA. So NVIDIA's $2 in the money. We're starting to get out of that. Starbucks we held for a great move, man, in that name all the way back. But yeah, just trying to find out what's going on here with the dollar. The Bitcoin's not doing too much. We just talked about DXY as well. You can see that as if it didn't even happen. There's the number. There's the drop down in the dollar. There's the dollar rate back up. So not getting much. Yeah, you had the IWM play.
I was going to, look, my emergency, if they somehow cut rates, was going to go punch long wherever IWM is. I didn't expect this would happen with IWM. That's actually tanking through the volume-weighted average price. Let's go over to Adara. We've got more.
Yeah, this actually isn't Fed-related, though. FCX dropping. That's Freeport McMoran, FCX, a copper-related play. White House announcing that Trump signed a proclamation to address the effects of copper imports on America's national security. Freeport McMoran, again, this is initially popping, then dropping about almost $3 from that high. So interesting look. Apparently, this proclamation does include a universal 50% tariff on imports of semi-finished copper products and copper-intensive derivative products as of August 1st. That is 2 days from now. So this August 1st tariff date, includes new copper tariffs, guys. Back to you.
And there you go.
Story remains the same. Market does whatever it wants to do. The number is if it didn't even happen. Nasdaq comes all the way back in, and then we get tariff news. Yeah. So, so I think we did pretty good, man. Exiting right there.
You know what?
there's an additional 40% tariff now on Brazil. Yeah. I just heard, man. This guy is just nuts. All right, so here's the Brazil ETF.
EWJ?
Right now going to the downside. All right, I guess Adara has this news as well. What up?
It's sad.
I just wanted to let you guys know we do have that additional 40% tariff on Brazil. It's a bit interesting. So initially they said in the tariff letter they were going to do a 50% tariff on Brazil, but their reciprocal, the reciprocal rate in Liberation Day was 10%. Well, I guess they decided to marry these because apparently what they're doing is they're keeping the 10% Liberation Day tariff, but they're adding that 40% tariff. So the total tariff on Brazil is 50%. A bit confusing. I have NU up here though because New Holdings is a Brazilian company. They are dropping on this. So again, 50% copper tariff. FCX is dropping. total 50% Brazil tariff, and you also dropping. I don't have any other news here coming in the Fed, but keep an eye on names like PDD as well. I am seeing even more announcements from the White House. PDD is dropping. The White House announcing that Trump is suspending de minimis exemptions here for commercial shipments globally. The de minimis exemption suspension will come into effect on August 29th. So de minimis rule here certainly hurting PDD. Back to you.
Yeah, that sucks.
Like as
for
if
them,
Trump's not doing this on purpose. He drops all these news bombs right at 2 o'clock.
All at 2 o'clock. Take it, take all the sales. Look, the Fed wasn't going to do much anyways in terms of moving the market, but you're certainly stealing the spotlight for the market in here. That's not great for PDD, obviously. I'm in a couple of things, but I'm going to weasel my way out of Intel. That just bounced off the low of the day.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, look, I thought, okay, just if you're in something, play it like normal, but if we're going to get this push and just go sideways, I'm going to jump out of Intel. I'm staying in PayPal, however. That's a pure VWAP play, and it's holding the trend to the upside. So I'm offering out in front of the open range top, and if it breaks out, this is just a continuation. We like the PayPal bounce. I don't like the term dead cat bounce, but they were down 10% yesterday, so we wanted to try some longs for a bounce play because I thought the quarter was pretty good, and if they caught a bid, then I think it could sustain it. So I'm going to stay in that one. But PDD, not good at all. I'm going to look to see if I can't get short underneath the lows here, 114. Because until Powell hits the podium at 230, we're probably going to have to look for moves elsewhere.
Right.
And whether it's in EWJ, which, Brazil, or whether it's in PDD, maybe Alibaba, or anything else, any other news that does hit, that could be the place that we can find some action. Here, real trading, you could actually, some traders might have entitlements to Brazil. I don't think I have mine anymore. I must have got rid of them years back.
Yeah, so I just went with the classic play there.
Exactly.
I shorted
ETF.
EWZ,
Yeah.
so I sorted EWZ right there, the Brazil ETF. What's up, Adara?
Yeah, so to provide a little bit more context, I'm still reading through the decision. As I mentioned earlier, they really didn't change anything in the statement itself. But one thing that was interesting that I wanted to address, Neil mentioned a little bit earlier that there was one Fed member who was not voting. That individual was Ariana Kugler. She's one of the Fed governors. But that's interesting as well, guys, because that means of the 12 Fed members that are supposed to vote, we only had 11 voting. And that means because of the 2 members who dissented, we actually only had 9 people voting in favor of this hold. That is very significant. So again, only 9 people of a total potential 12 voted in favor of this hold. Very interesting look. To be fair, I didn't hear anything about Kugler likely to dissent, so it's very likely she would have voted with the majority, but interesting look regardless. Nothing new in the statement, as I mentioned earlier. The only thing that really was interesting, they said that uncertainty about the economic outlook remains elevated. Previously, they said that it had diminished, but still remained elevated, so not a major change. Back to you.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Bowman's like, open the rate cut doors, Jerome.
Yeah, hopefully they do that. And then Jerome says,
Nerds unite.
Close the door. Yeah, nerds unite. So that would not be me, but shout out to nerds everywhere, right? I like the candy nerds. Okay, so right into here. Yeah, the gummy ones are the best ones. Those are the hot ones right now. So I just went long. So we got a new position, the newest position, the only position. Neil's on PayPal and PDD, so they have individual news amongst themselves as well. But here we go. New position for me is NVIDIA. If all things are the same, let's just go back to the best name around. There goes NVIDIA. We're long on a 179.50 break. This is my number 1 stock today by far, and there it goes. Let's see if it can continue to make this move higher. Let's go, NVIDIA. Nice move long right now. We had this long earlier, and we'll try to have it late right now. I don't know if this is late or not, but upside, we'll punch a little bit out here at 64. Okay, 63s. They're waiting for some 65s. Let's see if we can get through these levels, and then look at that 180 again here on NVIDIA. We've been up here before and failed, so I'm a little cautious right now of this trade. But again, if the market's going to remain the same, we're at all-time highs right now for NVIDIA. We just took it out. 179.39 was its previous all-time high. So let's go. We're sitting at 65. It's crazy that we can't get that. Hopefully we do right now. Bounces off me 3 times now up there. Nice. Hopefully a nice trade. Just trying to get some out. We already took out literally 5%, waiting to get another 10%, and here comes right back in again. So yeah, NVIDIA may have a problem at this level. I punched out before the number right there at 179, so that's going to look silly just buying it right back, but we bought back like basically 100 times maybe the shares that we had. We had a very, very small position. So we're going to go back into this right now and see if we can get it going back there to the upside. Long right now on NVIDIA. On all things the same, let's wait to see what winds up happening. It is pulling back just a little bit here. EWZ, the Brazil ETF, we did short this twice and just waiting. We have a good position on here. There was the move down on that initial claim of 50% tariffs for Brazil. So we shorted it right at VWAP. Let's see if it wants to work. Short Brazil right now, long NVIDIA. So we'll see how that works out. What's up, A?
Yeah, I just wanted to remind you guys of the FedWatch tool. Here it is for September. Nothing really changed. We do have about 61% of participants expecting that we're going to have a 25 basis point cut in September. Only about 37.7% expecting that we'll have these rates hold, and then another 1% expecting a 50 basis point cut. If you go forward to October, assuming that we get a cut in September, we're not really expecting one in October, only about 29.4%. From what I'm seeing right now, from what I'm reading, it seems like people are more likely here to expect we're going to get a cut in September and then maybe again in December. We're only expecting 2 cuts this year based on what I am seeing and reading right now, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, and if you're looking to go into something that's super strong, I mean, I like Alphabet here. Post earnings, remember, we get Microsoft and Meta after the bell, Robinhood as well. But in terms of Mag 7, we already got a great quarter from Google, and they were trend up when the market was sideways today. This was my red one this morning because didn't get that long right. It was 195, not 96. I'm guessing it's going to have to be the volume-weighted average price on a pullback because this just ran into a brick wall at 197.25. Sometimes it's the most random areas, but it's getting to this price, and none shall pass, apparently. So, yeah, I don't want to pull the trigger unless you're breaking away from here into the highs or we're pulling back. I really thought this would be a story where we'd at least make some kind of a run into 198 from a few days ago. That was the high at the open after that gap up on earnings. So before we get there, I do want to be long. If we can't break out this lower high, we're going to have to go with the dip buy. And Alex saying healthcare bottomed? You telling me UNH is going up?
Maybe that's just a prediction. I don't know.
Oh, you're asking if it's bottom? UNH is going up. Look at it. See? Sun shines on even a you-know-what's but sometimes.
Dog's ass.
Dog's ass. I can say dog's ass. On a dog's ass some days. It's a weird saying, but whatever. Double bottom on UNH. It has a chance to close green today. I don't want to celebrate for anybody. But UNH after earnings and the whole heap of problems they have, congratulations if you somehow pegged that bottom. I can't imagine I have any reasons why I would want to buy back into this thing. Yeah, it wasn't even a good quarter. Like, I'd rather take my chances when they sell Alphabet on a good quarter, or take your chances this morning. I know you got Palo Alto, PanW, when they just basically go down because they spent $25 billion on CYBR, which, I mean, that's going to bring stock down, but that's the dip buy you want, a strong company that gets sold for other reasons. Let's go back to Adair at the desk. We got more.
Just want to remind you guys, of course, Sean is short Brazil. Brazilian tariffs were announced are going to be a total of 50%. So 10% reciprocal tariff plus an additional 40% tariff. But FCX was the other name that very much plunged here. Now, in case you guys missed it, the White House announced a 50% universal tariff on imports of semi-finished copper products and copper-intensive derivative products as is August 1st. Now, the reason this is dropping apparently is because the tariffs did not include refined metal. So the lack of refined metal inclusion in the tariffs is, as far as I'm seeing, the reason copper and FCX are dropping here. Back to you.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Yeah, thanks, Sadara. So we're looking at copper, EWZ as well. We're trying to get a little feel for that one. I think we've got a good idea here on that. But let's go right now, NVIDIA. So that's starting to go upside. I mean, we canceled. I'll put a 65. We did pull that. Let's go upside right now. This is a big trade for me. If NVIDIA goes, great. Again, we're just playing the strength in the market again. Thanks again for the update, Adara, on what's been happening with Brazil, with these rate cuts, and there it is right now. It is a non-event today. It is 0 on the rate cut today. So as expected, 4.5. The overnight rate stays the same, and we want to thank everybody for joining us. We will look at the CME Fed rate tool in just a couple seconds, but there's NVIDIA. And the other play that we have on board, again, let's go, man. Like I said, I hear the news about Brazil. We obviously are well aware of what Brazil ETFs look like, and there it is right there. EWZ over on the Amex, nicely traded for me anyways to the downside. Let's wait to see how low we can go right now on that one. We're only out of a very small piece of this NVIDIA, but the fact that NVIDIA is not running and seems to be having a lot of problems in and around some of these levels, I'm not convinced right now that NVIDIA even wants to go back up. So we'll piece out a little bit more here. We're out of a third of this for a very, very small amount of winners, man. Our best out there was 67 or whatever there. Let's see if NVIDIA wants to work, but we're doing really well with this trade here and EWZ.
Yeah, good look over there. Freeport is still falling here. It just tagged, it's trying to hold 40. So a bit of a bottoming tail candle at 40. At some point, you usually catch a bid. I want to see the over under at 40 right now. 39.90 is this little bar. I'm going to take a pot shot at this that this is trying to make a low at that 40 level. So let's see if it can hold on. I'm going to put a stop underneath the 3/4 mark on the way to the downside. So like 39.75 for anyone out there that doesn't know what I mean by that. I don't want to give it all the way to the low, but I did zoom out to see if there was support, and that's the only place I found it. So that's why I want to take a shot on FCX. Coming out, oh, what did we get there? Oh, PayPal. PayPal's at VWAP as well. So I might have to get a reload in PayPal, but just zooming out there and finding that you had some support on FCX on the daily chart, down around 39.5. I'm in pretty much exactly at 40 at this moment. So Trump moving the markets a heck of a lot more than what you're seeing overall, because look at the Nasdaq. Absolute nothing burger. There's a big wick candle that gets to VWAP and breaks the high, but then we're right back to where we started. And that could be the case. We could just be a little whipsaw action until we get Powell on the podium in 10 to 15 minutes or so. Yep. Yeah, just under 15 minutes. And that's when we usually get a little bit more of a distinct direction, which, I mean, it's trending up, so I don't see any reason why I can't continue to do that. So again, I'm only in a couple of news plays, and PayPal's a different sort of play. My stop is underneath the volume weighted average price. I just elected to hold on to it. My stop is right underneath 71. I'm in at 71. So Freeport, PDD. PDD's out of the money 10 pennies or so. It's gone in the money 10, 15 cents. It's gone out of the money 10, 15 cents after the de minimis rule lifted, which of course affects Temu, Shein. That's what they do,
Yeah, my son showed me something. He got like a metal comb the other day, and he's like, I got this on Temu for like 5 cents. I was like, great, you're adding to the pollution of this world right now, because, the more garbage that there is.
It's true.
It's actually ridiculous. We told him to stop doing that. Like, stop getting these garbage things that's going to hang around the house and eventually go into a landfill somewhere. That's, I've never bought anything or even looked at Temu website, so I should
You know what we got? Those, the T-shirts for the grad party.
Oh, okay.
Those trading ones? I think that's where they.
Oh, that's where they got those. Okay.
Yeah, like mine was like just hodl it.
Yeah. I was actually wearing mine the other day. Okay. Well, now that I know that's
very, very cheap.
Maybe
let's just say.
But yeah, right here, this is what we're looking at now moving forward. So no rate cuts or anything right now, but this is what it looks like moving forward for September right here. So we just had the July rate cut. Obviously, that's 100%. Well, now it's 90. It's still, they haven't updated it, 98%. But right there for September, we're looking at this number right here. So it looks like we're going to get between 61, 62% chance of a rate cut finally in September. So that'll be good. 37% chance we don't get a cut either again. So yeah, it should be interesting there, Randy, for the Fed. Not much going on. This is a 2 o'clock Fed number that was as expected. We haven't had a change in expectations in the Fed in a very, very long time. Today, Canada holds as well. So we get back-to-back jacks there.
Good jobs numbers.
Yeah, so do the States. And that's
but they got good job numbers too.
Everybody right now has a good job.
Actually, it was this morning they got really good job numbers.
Yeah.
Well, ADP doesn't.
There's no impetus for them to change it right.
Too fancy of a word.
Got the mic.
Yeah, the job numbers on both sides of the border were pretty good. So I don't think there's a lot of impetus for the Fed to jump on a rate change yet.
We don't use fancy words like that. I told you already.
That's a school word.
Randy, come on, man.
We don't use school words, right?
Impetus.
It's been a long time since we were all in school.
What is Randy doing over here? How's that? How's the action?
It's
Jackson.
It's going to get darker here tonight.
Ooh la la.
Darkness is spreading, everybody.
Yeah, it's going to be like Halloween.
It's
like a late fall morning, or I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Late fall morning.
We're going to need some more lights.
I like the fall. All right. Well, I guess we have more lights coming, don't we? And we have new racks coming for the top.
Yep.
They got all the stainless steel coming.
We need more lights so we can have more
lights.
Like shiny domes on my head.
I didn't even put the makeup on here this afternoon. I'm just naturally glowing, All right. So
What was that?
We're out of half of NVIDIA. It's not doing at all anything at all. There. So yeah, the market here maybe is going to the downside. Let's get out of a little bit more of NVIDIA right now. We'll be in our face if it does eventually rip, but let's just get out for flat. It's not doing a whole heck of a lot. So right now I only have a third left. So we just punched out for flat there. We've made money on the trade. And then obviously EWZ as well. We tried to hold this for a little bit more. We're out of only a third of our Brazil ETF. And then just before we go to Adair, I just want to show you too, this is what the dollar's doing. So I was focused on the dollar to see what that was going to do. And we did get a drop right as the number was being released, just somebody taking a shot, I guess, and then right back up when it was what it was, and then downside. So remember, a weaker US dollar would be good for the multinationals, right? And so that's what I was looking at when I'm trading NVIDIA right now. And not that I'm only basing it on the dollar, but if this dollar was tanking, then I would be more inclined to hold some of these longs. And it's not doing anything. So look, the Spidey sense is strong, man. We got out there. We'll get out another piece here at 43. We got out of this NVIDIA before it sort of had that little drop down there. So yeah, we're pretty good right now with what we're doing. Let's go back over to Adair, see what she's doing.
Yeah, guys, I just want to remind you, in case you missed it, I mentioned this right when it came out, but in addition to those copper tariffs and the Brazil tariffs, we also had a PDD-related announcement. Specifically, the White House announced that they're going to be suspending de minimis exemptions here for commercial shipments across the globe. So keep an eye here on PDD again. I mentioned this one earlier, but in case you missed it, this one's dropping because the White House announced that Donald Trump, president of the U.S., will be suspending de minimis exemptions for commercial shipments across the globe. That'll go into effect August 29th. Back to you.
Very much. Just one quick look before we get to something else. FCX, yeah, I could have held on to it, but it looks like the downplay in PDD is going to be better than trying to catch the bid in FCX. These will still be in play the rest of the afternoon, everybody. But you know what? Let's talk a little bit about India.
Yeah, let's do that.
VinFast just opened its very first showroom there, and they're not stopping. The plan, 35 dealerships across 27 cities by the year end. And yes, pre-bookings are already live. This all comes ahead of their CKD plant launch. VinFast isn't just entering India, they're planting the flag. If you're tracking deliveries, this is the textbook move to power their 200,000 vehicle global target in 2025. Scan the QR code for more information. VinFast, thank you for sponsoring this afternoon. And look, let's be real. Oh, right back to the lows. Oh, I was about to say if you hung on and gave it to the low of the day, you're probably looking good. But just as I say that, FCX, Freeport-McMoRan heading right back into the lows. On that de minimis rule, there was a nice little push back into the prior lows. It's trying to get back to the bottom, but it's holding the higher low. So this is 113 and a third. I'm trading PDD here. I would venture the most heavily affected by this, although it's not like they're alone here. I would suspect Alibaba probably moved at least a little bit on that. Yeah, moved a little bit down there on Alibaba. I just chose PDD because they're usually the suspect that you want to go on over to on news of this regard.
Suspect, huh?
PDD's chart is not that bad in terms of trying to break out, but I keep going back. Every time I look at the two of these, I see the same thing. And Alibaba is just begging. It's begging to break the trend from the high. Like, it's just, come on, you can do it. It's already held above. All you need to do is break out 125. And not everyone likes investing in China, but I'll trade it. You got to, at the end of the day, you just want to make money on a trade.
Yeah, who cares what you're trading?
And I am all for the whole, I'll only invest in certain things, and I get it, and I totally respect it, but every now and then you just, you like what the chart looks like, so you make the trade. Alibaba through 125 someday. Maybe it takes a China deal to get that one done. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to get too much here. PDD doesn't seem like it wants to run to the lows. The volume's already abating. And the other thing to keep in mind, it's the afternoon, so some of these Chinese ADRs don't tend to do the same volume regardless. So a bigger move, not as likely. I'm just going to move my stop down. Like I'll see if it can't get to the low, but I'm not going to lose money on the last third. That doesn't make any sense. It's literally stopped doing volume. I'm going to trail out of this just around break even because I don't want to be sitting there when it stops moving forever. What is PayPal doing? PayPal, it's just chilling at 71. I might take a little swipe in here at like 3s or something.
Swiping,
and to reload.
Swiping, though.
Well, swipe. You know what? We don't do Dora the Explorer anymore.
No, Dora's done in my
Yeah, that's definitely done in our house. My daughter's
He swiped too much.
aged out of that one. But Swiper was legit, man. He's quick.
Swiper was quick. I mean, he was a good, like, an athlete as far as that concerned.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to have a swiper on our team. He's swiping first base, second base. I guess you can't swipe first base, but. All right, just quickly before we go to Adair, I'm going to be stopped out. 1 cent video goes down 10 more cents, breaking 179.19. We're out. That's just a 50-period moving average, so we just came back into it. So we'll take a little bit of a long here, but as I said already, like this trade does not seem to want to work out right now as the market's just waiting around for 5 more minutes for Jerome to come through. Did we see his tie yet, by the way, Adara? Let's go over to Adara and find out.
Not yet. We'll see that when he steps onto the podium on, I guess not on, at 2:30 p.m., though, as I've mentioned a couple times now, it is very, very likely it will be purple. Keep an eye here on crypto. We heard earlier today, Bloomberg is reporting that the White House is going to release this crypto report, and it wasn't necessarily going to be what crypto bulls were hoping for. The report just dropped. It's called Strengthening American Leadership in Digital Financial Technology. Unfortunately, it is 162 pages long, so it's going to take me some time to go through the contents, but the market doesn't really care too much, at least not initially. IBIT, though, dropping right now. I'm going to have to read through this report or read through highlights because, again, this pretty extensive report has just been dropped here by the White House on crypto. Back to you.
Come on, man. Neil's just asking me like I never probably saw Dora the Explorer live. Yes, I did. We went and saw Dora here in Toronto, where Dora the Explorer, of course, I believe she's Costa Rican, but it was played by an Asian lady, so that was really fun. My kids couldn't tell, but I was like telling my wife, I was like, pretty sure that that's not a Latina there, but the smartest move that companies make is when they do kids content, but they make it watchable and fun for adults. DK and what? Yep. It's absolute genius. Absolute genius. I don't know if they did that on purpose or not. You roll the ducats when you do it that way. Yeah, man. What's up with DraftKings? DraftKings is, thank you so much there. What's up to right here, Kuzma, Kyle Kuzma in the chat. No, the name right here, Kuzi Not. All right, Donkey Kong, yes, you've been a fan of the show, hopefully, or been watching the show anyways. You don't have to be a fan to watch. I don't even know why I said fan there. But yeah, you know that I like to call DraftKings Donkey Kong. I'm long this name as well, as it continues to go to the upside. This is a name that I have trimmed, but still do hold some of DraftKings. Wow, Adara's pretty busy. You went through that whole 400-page thing already? All right, give us an update. Get it, Adara.
I did not go through the whole 168-page document, Sean, but I did do a quick Cliff's Notes. And what I did was Control F. I'll be really honest with you guys. The word strategic, we're looking for a strategic crypto reserve. Strategic shows up 7 times in the document. On the final page of text is the only time they mention the strategic reserve. And unfortunately, they don't say really anything about it. They just say they're going to work on it. So no updates. A little bit unfortunate for people who were expecting this to be something on watch here. XYZ people were kind of tagging as something to watch with this in mind, but block here not really moving. Again, skimming through this report, I will try to read more of it when I have time later, but that strategic crypto reserve barely mentioned within. Back to you.
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, 117.7 right now on Bitcoin. We can go over to IBIT and just have a quick look here, Neil, because that would be something to look at. Yeah, so, okay. So that tells the story right there about what Adara was just mentioning, not what crypto bulls, maybe or bears are expecting. I mean, it's a pretty flat trade right now. I want to know the reason to sell Bitcoin. I mean, maybe someone in the chat can tell me, other than your personal opinion, that it's worth nothing. Like, I want to know what's going to cause this to make a move down. I mean, I've sort of thought that Bitcoin and the Nasdaq were tied for a very long time, and and I still do believe that, like, until the Nasdaq really makes quite a strong move southbound, I don't really see Bitcoin dropping into that 100 again, but who knows? That's my thinking, and if we do get anywhere close to that, then I do think it is a point where you can load up a little bit down there, but I still like crypto, I like Bitcoin, and I feel pretty confident and comfortable in my skin with that as a holding right now. I'm with you. I like the stock. I like the asset.
It looks great technically. I mean, when you look,
it's not as good as that video, you know what I'm saying?
Look at the daily chart. No, it's not as good as NVIDIA.
I mean, what would you rather hold, NVIDIA or Bitcoin for the
NVIDIA.
next? Yeah, exactly.
Well, here's the thing. Both, technically speaking, NVIDIA doesn't pay you a dividend, right? So,
well, I think it might, but it's very small. But neither does Bitcoin.
Yeah, but it's just so it's technically both the greater fool theory.
Ah, right.
It's what someone will pay in the future. But at least the difference is
Brazil.
At least the difference is I have a solid understanding of exactly where the revenue is going to come from. Bitcoin, I believe in Bitcoin because there's a limited supply and the technology, I believe, is something. But more importantly, Does anybody think governments will stop printing money? Does anyone think the money supply will not constantly have an upward slope? Okay? Like the only thing which has a stronger upward slope than the money supply and government spending is the Bills' chances of winning the Super Bowl with Josh Allen every single year, and that's just a fact.
No, it's going. That's downward right now.
Don't start.
No, because he's getting out of his prime.
Denied. First of all, his prime.
How old is the guy?
It's different from everybody else. His prime lasts until he's in the grave because the Buffalo Bills every single year, I believe, are going to win the Super Bowl, and that's about.
But I agree with you. But I'm just saying, how old is Josh Allen?
It doesn't matter how old he is. He just got married. He's feeling it.
He just got married. Okay, so he's on the downside.
What? Didn't he marry what?
Yeah, he's been.
She's in. Shoot.
He's 29 years old.
Just in
Neil.
Sinners. I know the.
29 years old. He's getting
29?
old.
That's young, man.
Yeah, that's young. For a quarterback, he's got many more years.
Yo,
I mean,
Aaron Rodgers is 41?
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers.
Almost my age.
I mean, I like Josh Allen. Obviously, Josh Allen's now outproducing Aaron Rodgers, but, let's just wait on that one. I'm no fan of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I think that they'll be
I don't
fine.
mind the Steelers.
By the way, that's mine.
They're not going to win anything.
So, I mean,
I no, Sean's a Bills fan, too.
I'm a Bills fan, too. I was just going to say, I would rather hold Josh Allen, in my portfolio than pretty much any other quarterback right now. No, not tightly there, Fabian. We can always get rid of players. That's a good thing about fantasy sports.
Finish your lunch,
You didn't like the lunch there, Fabian, or? Okay, you ate the veggies. Good, smart man.
Powell saying the economy is in solid.
What, you're hearing something? Oh my God, I got to refresh.
Solid position?
It is, isn't
solid
it?
Position.
Do you disagree with that? I agree with that.
I mean, it depends on your definition of solid. I'd say it's rolling pretty well.
Kind of like
Green
Bay Packers' chances of making the playoffs.
It's better than the Canadian economy by a heck of a lot. But anyways, let's go up to the desk.
Powell just hit the stage here. He's on the podium. Again, as Neil said, really the only comment we're seeing right now is that the economy is in a solid position. So again, Fed's Powell saying the economy is in a solid position. He is on the podium. If I get any more comments or if there's anything else of interest that pops up from his prepared remarks, I'll let you know. The other thing on note here, I guess, Sean, you're not in that Brazil trade anymore, but if you're trading Brazil, keep an eye on EVZ. We have news, the U.S. now saying that the new tariff on Brazil imports is going to take effect in 7 days. So it doesn't sound like this one is going to be following that August 1st deadline. Again, 7 days here for the Brazil imports to take effect. Back to you.
Yeah, good. And I meant to talk about that, and we started going on Josh Allen there. I was like, Brazil? Yeah, this is what just happened to us. So we're actually flat on the trade after all. We are getting out down here. We got out to some 40s. We were just getting out. And then that announcement comes, taco trade. I mean, it's just like, all right, that's a purple tie right there. That's purple, right?
Yeah, it's purple.
It's purple.
It's a dark
purple.
purple.
So as expected, they're purple tie. But there goes EWZ. We were going to punch out right there at that 60 break, and that's what happened. So we actually got 60s, and then it fell all the way back down now again. So womp womp on that one. We wound up losing. But net, we were short here anyways, so that was a little bit of a problem. So there's the break higher right now on EWZ. And if they're not going to implement these tariffs for another 6 days, well, that sounds like more negotiation time again right there. So we're going to wait. Powell right now, labor market's still solid. I mean, we have it up on the board right now. Hopefully you're enjoying that and watching out for that. Dollar, NVIDIA just made a nice move higher. We actually were able to take something out there at 68. NVIDIA's been a good trade. Long there, buy the dips, boom, right there, out again. And I just did want to look at the US dollar because this is important to me anyways, as we watch out for USD. And then also gold as well right now. Just have a quick look before we look at Adara, who's listening to this call or this conference. Gold down a little bit as well. All right, Adara, give it to us.
Yeah, these comments coming from Fed's Powell are pretty measured. He's just saying that he does, I guess now they're expecting PCE up 2.5% and core PCE up 2.7% for that June print. We're getting that tomorrow. So 2.5% year over year for PCE, core PCE 2.7%. He also did say that, yes, inflation has eased quite a bit from its height in 2022, but it's still somewhat elevated compared to what they want here, what that goal is around that 2%. He did say that apparently growth moderation is likely driven by slower consumer spending and that there's still weakness in the housing sector. But because we have the current policy, I guess, where it is, they're allowed to have a little bit of flexibility with their response. Let's see if and how U.S. President Donald Trump responds to this. Back to you.
Let's see. You were looking, Sean was just looking at the dollar. The 10 years it's been going in the right direction if you want the markets to go up. It's been sliding well away from that 4 or 5. It's been a bit of trouble, but yeah, you look at it heading right back in. I think when we get to that 4 1/3, that's been the bounce spot. But I think the market's just continuing to go higher. And
There's something going on.
Yeah, step by step.
Yeah,
it looks
just
like
stepping.
AMD. Alphabet is now breaking through that consolidation at 197 and a third. So I don't want to wait until this gets to the high. It's making the breakout now. I'll be long in front of 170, 197 even. So I'm going to get some here, and hopefully it'll just hold the even dollar. Because when I see the 10-year going the right way, the market's trending up. This stock has been trending most of the day, and I want to be in it before it gets to the high. PayPal, I didn't get it at the even dollar. I just bid it too late. Like by the time I noticed it was bouncing exactly off 71, it was bouncing higher, and I got it off the volume at average price. So going to stay in the longs. And this PDD, remember I said how it's just not moving? It's moving even less now. So I've tightened the stop even further. So I'll just get out if it breaks 113.85. You know, there was a big reaction. We tried to get a secondary move. That secondary move was as follows. It went like 50 pennies at the most. And now I don't want to lose on it if the Chinese stocks aren't going to move for the rest of the afternoon. Let's go back to the desk. Adara's got more for us.
Yeah, this is interesting, too. We have Fed Chair Powell actually, usually the Fed's been saying that tariffs will be impacting inflation. A little bit more measured in his comments now. Powell saying that tariffs have exerted some pressure on some goods, but the wider impact does remain uncertain. So they're still citing tariff uncertainty, but seems like they're less aggressive here about specific tariff risks. Guys, back to you.
Hey man, we are really. Money. Yes, finally, there goes NVIDIA. Good trade there to the upside here as the market goes. I mean, Neil and I both mentioned that as this market came through, when we saw the Nasdaq not do anything right here at 2 o'clock, it moved down, and then by the time it was back up, it was 7 minutes later, we're at those levels. And now, as Powell starts talking about clear paths ahead, stronger market, this dude's asking some kind of a question right here as well. So we're going to find out exactly what everyone's talking about, and then just watch this market continue to fly higher. I mean, AMD, wow, what a move. Like I said, we got out of everything just before the market, and that's where it was, 179, now 180.20, up $1 and change. NVIDIA going, NVIDIA just fell. All right, so there. All right, I don't know, modestly restrictive.
Oh, yeah.
Hello. All right, let's go over to Adara, who can pronounce things properly. What's up, Adara?
Yeah, keep an eye here on the market dropping a little bit. It is worth noting the question and answer period has started at the FOMC. I'll let you guys know what's kind of being said here to cause this drop, but this market pushing a bit lower here after a nice push into today's highs. Back to you.
There we go. So, I mean, we just saw NVIDIA just drop. I mean, it's nothing to most of you, but when I'm watching this thing at 80 and then it goes down to 50 immediately, it's like, okay, what happened? But there it goes right back in again. Look at that, right back up. Will you take a look at that? This is the way the market moves on Fed days, up and down, lots of liquidity, levels being wiped out, lack of share size there, but still tons of volume. That's what I mean by liquidity. It's just the levels can evaporate relatively quickly. So if you still want your 5,000 shares, you can get that. Just put it right here. It'll run you over immediately. But, if you're looking to trade this thing, it's going to be a little aggressive, needless to say, right now. So I'm getting lighter on this. I will buy a 40 print if it does come in and then use our same out down here in the 30s. Like we almost got stopped out last time. I'm still going to do that. We're still going to wait for some more actionable trades coming in through right now. But yeah, the market is moving quick. And I'm just looking at NVIDIA, let alone other names that are obviously moving as well. AMD moving quite fast. Apple in and around 110 again right now, 209, sorry, in change, but 210 is what I meant. So let's go over to Adara to find out if there's any more news dropping.
Yeah, it is worth noting here, what seems to be the reason for this drop is because Fed Chair Powell was asked, because you do have 2 full rounds of data that you'll be able to look at employment and inflation data ahead of the September meeting, does that mean you might be able to cut? He said that they have made no decision about the September meeting. They do not do that in advance. And right now, the moderately restrictive policy seems appropriate. So Powell not really backing any talk here of a cut in September. Let's wait and see what happens. Right now, the market not liking that, though. Again, he didn't say no cut in September. He just said they're not going to make that decision before September. Back to you.
Yeah, well, whatever at the end of the day, look, PayPal
Jerome
broke
got a
71.
job.
I just reloaded. I didn't move my stop, so I'm out of this one. It was underneath the volume weighted average price to begin with. So once it broke 71 even, to me, it's like an easy jump out of that trade. So if we're heading red, my brain is telling me to short Intel, but first things first, if we lose 197 on Alphabet, we'll be out of this one. We're long at 29, shout out to Jesse Barfield, but if we can't break and hold this 2097 level, I think we're in a little bit of trouble. Usually, I'm always hoping that Powell will rally the markets and we can stick with the longs, but if I am going short, I always want to pick on the weakest name possible that I can find, and this one is an easy trend down on Intel. I don't want to be breaking the low of the day. But if we get stopped out and I start to see us break support on the Nasdaq, I'll look for the breakdown here on Intel. I'd rather short a weak name if I have to. It gives you the cover of having the direction, like the daily direction going with you. So Google does not hold on. It's weird that like the only thing that ends up working for me is PDD, which had nothing to do with the Fed. Nothing to do with the Fed. It was Trump, it was the President Trump essentially tagging the de minimis rule, and then that flushed the stock, and we're able to get a secondary play there. Whereas the rally to the upside, no mas. Jerome hits the podium, and we're going downside. Thanks a lot, Jerome. Where's that Fed pivot button? Pivot, buddy. Give us the cut.
Yeah, I mean, the cut would be fine. Nasdaq still up 0.3%. Nasdaq at all-time highs. S&P 500 at all-time highs. I tip my cap, of course, to Jerome Powell for making all of us so much money, man.
Oh, well,
I mean, all you've had to be is in the market ever since this guy took over, and you're laughing right now. The returns that the stock market has given all of us, yeah. So I know, yeah, but we wouldn't mind a pivot right now. I mean, I think that's what everyone's saying. Too late, Powell. He's been the Fed's been too late on a few different occasions, and it looks like people are thinking that again right now. So, all right, so. There it goes. Just a quick update on the trades that I have, 179.69, 179.70. We just got out a couple times. We just got out again at 63. You might have heard me under my breath right there a little bit say, I don't think this looks very good. And I mean, the market is pulling back right there, back into VWAP right now. So what was a pretty calm trade all basically early afternoon into the number. Right now you're breaking lower. So normally, as Powell's talking, the market will tend to go up. Now that it's coming back in like that, I don't know. Like, we've built shorts before, waiting. We're like, okay, let us know when he's off, let us know when he's off, and then the market will come back in. So if the market's already coming in now, I don't know. I don't love that right here. He just mentioned he does not see weakening in labor markets, so I think that the stats will prove that very, very soon, and we'll see that on Friday when we get the labor report. But now let's just go back to regularly scheduled programming. I mean, tonight it's Meta and it's Microsoft and it's Robinhood, and all these names continue to do well. I mean, Robinhood up another 3.5% today. This name near all-time highs. Probably get that tonight, right? One way or the other, you're going to get probably a 5 or 6% move. And if you do that on Robinhood, then you break the highs. I'm going to assume it's going to be a long there on Robinhood. Banks like JP Morgan seem to like this number as well. We actually get that 300 break. I'm at 303. Though, to get out of my JP Morgan trade. There we can see what SoFi is doing, a day 2 playoff earnings. We did good yesterday getting out of this name. Not good today. We should have been long at 2050, as we had mentioned that before. We could check out our Starbucks trade where we lost way too much money, but we made some back. We actually made back about 25% back on that long right there. So yeah, still not great, but not bad at all. And then the ES today, we go looking at Nasdaq all the time. And again, let's go. NVIDIA right back up to highs one more time. So I think they're just kind of ignoring everything right now in this market. But SPY following similarly to the Nasdaq, as we just got a little dump play right there. I'm wondering about going longer on NVIDIA, man. I mean, it's sort of absorbing all this and now right back to highs again here for NVDA. So there we go. We just take an 84 out right now. Wow, NVIDIA really working. This name has worked for me. And we said, thank you for coming back here to the programming, because I said yesterday that I normally trade the numbers quite well. I feel like we did that right there. All it takes is one, man. You don't need to trade too many symbols when the market's moving like this. Good trade there on NVIDIA. Neil took the PDD and the PayPal. PayPal's good. PayPal was an older trade. Yeah, and it's on earnings today, so that's what we had. And then the only trade that went against, well, I shouldn't say, it is the only trade that went against me there, but this was not really an L. This is just, there goes Brazil right now. So I don't know, like, what's up with that? We got more tariffs than expected. That was that move down. It came back up. We shorted into that area. We took it all the way back down to the downside. Then it was kind of like a psych. right there. We are not installing these tariffs today. There's going to be 6 or 7 more days to decide this. So then that shot up and that stopped me out. And again, hands off the keyboard, right? I mean, as soon as I take a trade, I'm immediately put in the stop. I mean, maybe not immediately, but within the first couple minutes, put in the stop right there. So we stopped out on this level. And good thing we did, because right now, Brazil be flying. Is there a new deal with Brazil or something, Adara?
No, I'm not seeing anything new with Brazil, but it is interesting. Powell was asked about the 2 dissenters here. That would be, of course, Feds Bowman and Feds Waller, who voted to cut rates while the rest of the FOMC voted to hold. Powell said that it was a good meeting, that they explained their viewpoints well, but he said in general the rest of the committee and Powell himself voted that right now they can wait. Policy is at a place where they're allowed to wait. He also said, just kind of, I guess, things to look for going forward. He said, quote, the main number you have to look at is the unemployment rate. So this unemployment rate could be something that we're watching more closely as we continue to get economic data, because Powell is indicating that this is going to be a number to watch, or at least a number they're watching. He's basically just saying that the members who dissented had a little bit different viewpoints than everybody else at the table. Back to you.
Just a little bit of different,
no longer are members.
A little bit of different viewpoints than everybody else. Yeah, I'll say. It's just a little bit different. But
and I like the fact that the tariffs, someone in the chat just right there, good point right here by Mike. I mean, he's talking about in the chat, make sure you do hit the like and subscribe and get into the chat ASAP. As I'm debating NVIDIA, or sorry, there goes AMD. We're on NVIDIA, man. NVIDIA's 60 cents. AMD's going ham. But tariffs are not Powell's problem. Agreed. They're not. He just goes by the numbers. He sees the economy. That's his problem. The economy is his problem, and the economy he's saying is hot. Yeah. And he's not worried about jobs. And the earnings are hot right now. So yeah, I think this is all making sense to me right now.
But the question is, does he wait until there's actually some bad prints in the labor market? Yeah, you know, like sometimes there's get a little bit ahead of it. And here's the thing, when you have like Jamie Dimon and you have like lots of CEOs talking about cost cutting, JP Lossman should always lose his job. When that's happening, you're getting those early advanced signs that you could have pressure on the labor market. Then you throw in AI's proliferation and maybe taking some jobs, and then you throw in like a tariff effect. Even if it's not as big as you would expect, it can result in some short-term shifting of supply chains, and that can affect the market as well. So you might want to get ahead of it, be ahead of the curve instead of way behind it as always. And the headline range of views of what neutral rate is at this moment.
Yeah, we know
outcomes.
Yeah, exactly. So what neutral rate is. So I don't know. I mean, we already looked at the Fed interest rate there and what was expected on the CME Fed rate watch tool right here. So maybe as this changes right now, let's go have a quick look to see what September looks like now. So now you're down to 62%. I still feel like that's a reasonable number that we've come up with. So we can refresh this. I think everything's been the same. Oops, that's September. Yeah, okay. So by December, it was about 40% chance that we would, so it's still the same. So there it is, 2 rate cuts by December. So that's what we're looking at right now. So yeah, whether or not whatever neutral rates are, I don't know either. Obviously, he doesn't know. But it looks like 375 to 450. So that's 50 basis point cut by December is what you're looking for. So that might play to your IWM trade that you had mentioned maybe. I just want to see EWZ right now, huge upside move. So I don't know. Did we miss whatever that was there?
That's like a deal is made move.
I think it was a psych. Yeah, it was just like we're gonna do it, then we're not, and then now I feel like we're not doing it. So I don't know. Maybe Beta Pro knows something. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I can tell you right now, if you're a Canadian investor and you want to boost your exposure and tap into the Nasdaq 100 and the S&P 500. With 3x daily leverage ETFs, Beta Pro is for you. And the key is this built-in FX hedging, very important these days, aiming to amplify short-term market moves, and it'll minimize the impact of currency swings. So whether you're feeling bullish or bearish, these ETFs are built for active traders, ready to take on those markets. Read the full risk disclosure in the prospectus at betapro.ca before investing. And always remember, those leveraged ETFs, there's time decay. They are for trading. They're not for long-term investing. And we get that question a lot. And we're always, we'll always tell, even if most of you guys already know that, we'll say it every single time. Shout out to Beta Pro. So when NVIDIA and AMD and everything was going ham, I said I got to pivot because Google just didn't look strong, and AMD started to really pick up volume right here at 179.70. Sticky keys almost went on there. But it broke the high of the day, got some out at the quarters, and it's right back into the support. So I'm reloading it right in front of the stop. I actually throw my stop in sometimes before I get into position. Like if I know I want to stop out underneath here, I'll throw the stop, and then like I haven't even gotten the long yet, which is something you can do here at Real Trading. I like it. It's a good feature. Oh, one note, I probably should have just shorted Intel. It's just a scalp trade. It doesn't want to bounce. But it's not falling the way that you would want something to fall that's a trend down, like CoreWeave. CoreWeave is the short that just keeps on shorting, for lack of a better term. It's now 5% down and continuing to fall. That being said, the IPO tomorrow, Figma, we're still going to take that one to the long side. But CoreWeave, it is going to break $100 at some point this week. $100. Well, this is breaking 100 tomorrow as well.
No, CoreWeave.
Figma's tomorrow.
Figma, I meant.
Figma's tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh, I like you a lot. We just got a nice little dip down there. AMD just went for a little bit of a ride. And Nvidia, we got some dip buy opportunities right now. What just happened to Dara?
Yeah, apparently these Brazil tariffs exclude certain products. That could be why there's a bit of a move up in Brazil. But one thing here is that we have some more comments from Fed's Powell. He said that the tariff pass-through to prices could be slower than initially thought. So earlier in his statement, it sounded like they were a little bit more, I guess, open in terms of how tariffs are going to impact inflation. In his statements here and his responses to questions, he's being a lot more specific. He says that he does expect to see this tariff impact in inflation data, but it'll be a little bit slower than expected. And he's also saying that the Fed is looking through inflation by not hiking. So interesting look there. He says he doesn't see this fiscal bill either as particularly stimulative, likely referring here to that big, beautiful bill. So you're going to have to wait and see how all of this goes down. But market not liking what we're hearing right now from Fed Chair Powell as he continues to answer questions.
Tell me that again. Yeah, not liking it too much. We are long Nvidia. We are long right now AMD. Try and do the best with both of these names. I'm not sure where we're going to go, but we did buy some of that dip right now on Nvidia, and we just got out a little bit there, but out on Nvidia and AMD as well right now, trying to dance around. 65s is where we're caught. Okay, well, we just got some fills up there at 60s, so far so good. But right now, it's what we're doing. AMD, hopefully we can ride to the high side and then put on a real big winner, but our stop on this is 179.40 break. So if we break below that, we're out. So let's just start taking some more outs right now. There goes Nvidia finally back up to the upside, but we're not trying to count our chickens before they hatch. So let's get a little bit out here because we never know what Powell's going to say. Yeah, we just made a lot of money right there just on small moves, and we're not taking too many shares. Sorry, not a lot of money. We're not up anything today. We're making it back what we had lost earlier. So yeah, so far so good there. Nvidia with a little bit of a pullback upside. That's where we made the money. The AMD trade's not really doing anything.
No, yeah, well, AMD just bounced off that wick bottom, and it cannot seem to get past those 60s. So, yeah, I don't know if it's going to hold. The break up to 180, you've now failed to double top. Well, technically, it's not really a double top. You have to go back to yesterday in the afternoon. There is resistance at $180, and if it's not going to hold this $0.50, I think we're in trouble. I have the stop at the same level as well. We break down 25 pennies. I want to be out. I could have reversed in PayPal. I should have reversed in PayPal. PayPal's almost down at $70. 70 is a big level. If we get like a big buyer on the, if I see a big buyer on the 70 even level, if it gets down there, I probably take some kind of a shot at a reversion on that buyer. Anish, what did you tell us? Why didn't you short AMD today? Isn't the flippening? Isn't the flippening over? I don't understand what this. Why didn't you short AMD today? Isn't the flippening over Nvidia? Is it? Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what that means. People are uncertain of the question. But I think, okay, so if I'm going to make an educated guess at what you might be talking about, where you had Nvidia going slightly to the upside lately. Let's pull up a 15-minute chart. Slightly to the upside lately, and AMD, which had been
the market
not breaking its high today. So like the argument would be that Nvidia just continues, AMD did not, so there's your high, there's your lower high. You start thinking short. It's reasonable, but I like shorts on upward trends if it's broken the trend. And they don't really have like a trend. Like you could go this. Like if I was trying to short AMD, I don't have anything I'd be in love with. I'd be looking at something like that, but that's way too close to the volume weighted average price. Like you're shorting here to try to get, and then hope it breaks that. Yeah, I don't mind taking a short trend break, but I guess unless you're shorting the 180, which would have worked for 40 or 50 cents, I'm assuming that's what you were getting at. I don't know.
I hope you guys just heard me say, ooh, the market. I really hope you did there. I didn't want to interrupt Neil, but we just bought the market there on that dip down right there. So far, so good on that dip buy of the TQs. It just cracked lower. And we got stopped out of our AMD, by the way, right there breaking through 40s, but then we sat there and bought into 20s just on that move. I don't necessarily think that this is going to have too much of a continued play right now. So let me get something out if we can around that 40 or 50 mark again, and then watch to see what winds up happening. But so far so good here in the market. Yeah, but I don't know. I guess we got to wait for this guy to get off the mic.
I'm waiting for him to get off the mic.
The DXY right now, I mean, so we can look at something else. This is what the dollar's doing. So wow, money right now. This is bad. You want a weaker U.S. dollar for multinationals. So as this goes upside, that is why I'm getting stopped out anyway. I mean, whatever, we're not really getting stopped out. We're getting stopped out of our last positions, but we're not like making huge hero plays here. But there it is right there, U.S. dollar strength breaking through the highs. I mean, even if you go into like a 15-minute chart, I mean, the strong U.S. dollar heading into this moment. So maybe the Nasdaq and maybe everything is about to break at some point here. I don't know. I'm not confident to say that, but. Well,
you mentioned the dollar.
There goes AMD. We got some more dip buys.
Look what happened. The 10-year did break the high. From earlier today, just very barely broke the high, and that's going to move things. We were sliding down. Should have paid a little bit more close. Like, forget about anything else. Like, that reversal is a reason to look the other way. But I'll play this in both directions. If we fail this high and start trending back down, let me pop a lower time frame here. That's what I mean. There's your topping tail. I mean, if we reverse that, then you'd be looking for a bounce off the lows. But, the NASDAQ is trending right into those lows. Obviously, short Intel and short PayPal reverse would have worked. The only one I like at these levels would be Intel. But I'm going to start hunting for a couple of other things in case there's that weakness. If we break higher on the 10-year, I think that'll be a good sign to not try to catch this bottom. But I want to see the next candle on the 3-minute before I make that determination. Or I just wait till Powell gets off the podium. While all this was going on, I saw in the chat someone saying MP Materials breaking through VWAP and starting to trend back in. There's no real gigantic sign or reason for this to do anything, but it is worth noting. I'm just going to throw this out here. How far down
do we have to go?
This is breaking. This is potentially breaking a slight upward trend at the top here. So I would think there's a hefty pullback. I shouldn't say hefty. A decent pullback could be in store for this. It's a pure squeeze play with some good fundamentals behind it, not necessarily at these prices. For my own sake, I'm really trying to dip buy this stock. I wanted it in front of the 50-period moving average, and I put a stink bid in, and then the next day they got a DOD deal, and it's like how the heck was I supposed to know that was going to happen? I could have just bought it instead of trying to get an extra 10% cheaper.
Yeah.
It always gets you. If you're trying to buy something for the long term, what do you care about that 10%? It doesn't matter. Then just get in less.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, just take 20 or 30% of the position if you don't like the price, and then if it falls to 10%, you can get the rest, and effectively you'll have the same cost basis anyways.
I mean, that's the number one.
That way you don't miss moves.
Yeah, I mean, share sizing, we talk about it all the time, how key that is, both obviously here with what we're doing and with what anybody else is doing with long-term portfolios and things like that. You never know how many shares to get in, at what price, and then it's always a hindsight type of thing that goes through your mind. But yeah, good look there on MP. And again, have the catalyst, and you've got it on that stock. So, all right, so I planted my flag, so to speak, right now. We'll take NVIDIA long off VWAP. That just came in there again. We've done well on NVIDIA today. We actually bought all of these dips. That's an out before we went long. So all of our longs have worked out so far on NVIDIA. Will this one? I don't know. Powell's gone, right? No, he's still talking. Sorry, he's just not on our screen.
Thing's not there.
Yeah, he's not there, but he still is on. Okay, so just quickly here, we've taken our last shot here on the futures. We just got hit down there and then took a little bit out for like 10 or 15 cents or so, but it's been okay. We're just trying to get it into sort of this closing spot there yesterday. If we break back down below 89, which is right there, then I'm getting out. So that's yesterday's level right there, 89. If we break, we're out. We're long right now at 28s. So that'll be a 30-cent hit. Very, very comfortable for me doing that on 30 cents. So yeah, so far so good. It looks like NVIDIA and the TQs is what we're going to do. Waiting for inflation talk, and it looks like it's coming back in. I'd rather this guy just get off right now. I mean, it seems like whatever questions they're asking him is creating this to be downside right now pretty quickly in the market. I mean, there's the biggest move right now happening on the day. So which was a nothing burger early. Wow, okay, we're going to get stopped out of everything right there. NVIDIA just stopped out. This is pushing lower. Looks like we're into yesterday's lows right now on the TQQ. So we just bounced off 89. That's my stop. So we got lucky not getting punched out. But Derek, wow, okay, something just happened. Nice crack lower right there on the market. We got out of NVIDIA, still holding out pretty good, man. We're down less than 10% of our high on NVIDIA because we got out immediately. Nice move down right now on the market. Again, just let's go to Adair and see what that news is all about. I still want to get long, man. I still think this is overdone considering we got what we wanted. And there's been some kind of positive talk. What's up, Adara?
Yeah, Fed's Powell just being pretty cautious here. He is being asked why, what's happening here with rates. What part is tariffs, what part is not. He said that it's really hard to separate tariff inflation from other inflation, but that inflation in general is pushing the Fed off target. They still have risks to both their inflation and employment goals. The other thing here that is being said is that he's saying that they're just at the very beginnings of tariff inflation. So tariff inflation likely to still be in watch and continue here, according to Fed Chair Powell. Again, nothing super huge to explain this massive drop in the market. Fed's Chair Powell saying, again, there's going to be a lot of data coming in before the next meeting. That was mentioned earlier. And the next steps the Feds take are likely to be closer to neutral. So apparently moving close to that neutral rate soon. Not yet. The market not liking what he's saying here, guys. Back to you.
Not at all. But I mean, I don't know. How long do you have to wait for the tariff effects inflation to come in? I don't know. See, here's the thing. What if, Jerome? What if I don't get to ask him this question? What if those effects don't actually come in before the labor market starts to turn a little bit more? I don't know.
Crypto's tanking, by the way.
No, IBIT's at 116. Everything is falling here. IBIT's down. We're down at 116 on Bitcoin. I was just looking at, my goodness, Google just dropped. Thank goodness we got out of these longs, but that just dropped pretty heavily. Apple's falling. AMD, I have eyes on. That was super strong, looking like it was breaking in. Now we're back at 177 here in AMD. Pretty much everything is falling. Just keep in mind, though, the NQ is down 0.3%. 0.3%. Just in the grand scheme of things, we're moving more than expected because we weren't expecting much because they weren't going to change the rates. But Big Papa Pump is deflated the market, and my guess is we'll try to get a little bit of a bounce when he's done, because maybe that's what the market's waiting for, to try to catch a bid.
I mean, that's what I'm waiting for.
I mean, when I say done, I mean done on the podium.
Yes, yeah.
Right?
We still have 9 months.
Not that connotation. He's not going anywhere in that regard.
He's got 9 months left until Trump pulls the trigger on that one. If I was in the NFL, they already got a 20-yard penalty for that move. But okay, is it only 15? Okay, good. And then multiple offense. But yeah. I don't know. Trying to play a strong name. Google was super strong, right back up to 198 again. I mean, we were 197.50. Really liked that name here today. So we're going to try to play some strength now back in. Instead of tracing the Nasdaq move, we'll try to trace Google. And it's been working out there. I don't have a problem chasing the Nasdaq. I mean, I wish I would have done that down there to the bottom, as we're almost all the way back to our breaking spot right there. But we're doing really well now on Google, as we just faded again off O's. We'll put an offer at 94. There it is. We get taken out again. So we're long at 82s right now, just bouncing around. NVIDIA is making that move higher as well right now, but they made a nice move down. It's up $1 from its lows. So hopefully Google can get going. I mean, everything else is trying to recover. Why not Google? Oh yeah, this is why. This is what the dollar's doing, as they talk more about the dollar bad. Going upside. That's not good for the market. The Nasdaq for sure wants a weaker US dollar as the multinationals repatriate this dollar back in. So they're looking for a weaker dollar as well. But right now, we're going to wait to figure out now what DXY wants to do. Looks like it's going up, and away. So as the market comes back in right now, the dollar is not helping that Nasdaq case at all. So we're looking at that. Some names that could be working out. I mean, U.S. oil, you could see right now, Bitcoin's getting sloshed right now to the downside. 116 again. We were at 118 not too long ago. That's down 2% or so right now. Oil holding up pretty decently right now. GLD is about closest spot gold as I can find right here. That's had straight downside again. So strong dollar, weaker gold, weaker Bitcoin, weaker stock market right now, and not good news coming out of Fed Chair Powell's mouth as he's still on the podium right now. Come on, Steve Leisman, like, let's wrap this thing up.
What's the longest he's been on? I think like last
Now,
time.
this is about,
Last time was what, 3:15 maybe?
I was going to say something like 45 minutes seems about right.
So yeah, I think I'm too early. I'm anticipating when he's going to be done and trying to catch the bounce, and I'm done with that. I just took 78s to 77.7 on AMD.
Ooh, yeah, Google
But I'll
just
keep.
broke.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I'm just going to wait until he's done. Forget about it. I'd rather be late to the move, or not late to the move. I'd rather be into it after. It's just a matter of which one do I want to play. It might not be AMD, but AMD and NVIDIA's charts are pretty much the same thing. I'm trying to find something that's maybe relatively strong, and I'm not really seeing it. SMCI sometimes is a good play because it can squeeze. Now that's pretty weak. SMCI is all the way back to 60. Man, that thing was squeezing this morning, and all the way back into 60. Nothing's really holding up. I'm not even going to bother to look at Apple. I think that would be a waste of time. What about Microsoft? No, that'll be reporting tonight. Someone's saying Meta is setting up. The ones that are reporting tonight, like, they're already bleeding. Like, you look, the Mag 7 that aren't chip names, they're all very, very weak. At the lows, like Tesla has been weak the entire
Apple's 208.
day. Apple at 208. You know, like, this is just a distinct difference. Like, the reason you look long in the chip names should be obvious, because that's what was holding up. They were the ones that were released around the volume-weighted average price and trying to hold some higher lows. Everything else is just complete tank city. And when I say the chips, just understand that I don't mean Intel, because it should have shorted it. I said it, I didn't do it. I could have just held on to this one. It's so stupid. The stock only goes down recently. Like, it's gapped down, short the pop, short the pop. It's just slowly sliding down 1% or 2% every single day. And you're pretty much going to hold it the entirety of the day. Once it makes one failed move up, you can just hold it short for the rest of the day. CoreWeave, probably the same thing in a more extreme sense. Ooh, this is going to make that Figma tomorrow spicy if we end on this kind of weakness.
I forgot about Figma.
Well, ideally you want to be getting that market exuberance when you get that big IPO coming in.
That'd be a good one. We have a new position here.
Take it anyway.
Palantir. I was just trying to think, like, what name that we know is pretty strong right now. The market's still down 1/4 of a point. Palantir up 3/4 of a point, 1%. So yeah, there it goes, man. Nice 30-cent win now for PLTR. So let's just take something out. Why not? Wow, 50s. Okay, let's take out more. There it is, man. 35-cent winner there on Palantir. So ring the register a little bit there. Still not happy though. The market just made another low and came right back to the upside. NVIDIA, we didn't really give too much money back, but we did wind up losing on Google on that move down. So I still think we like to buy some of this. Okay, now it's starting to go back upside to sort of where we liked it before. We're definitely into Palantir. Palantir is almost $1 winner in just a couple minutes, so that's going to be a good one. Let's take something else out at 80 if we can. We just bounced off 80 right there. Silly not to watch. Even key levels, even right now. I mean, they don't mean as much now because this thing can pop 50 cents or down 50 cents based on whatever we hear. So yeah, but let's take advantage of that. Get some out at 80 if we can. We're at 81s right now. We'll see if we can get it out there. Nope, almost. All right, let's go over to Adara. I'm sure I'm going to get this or not.
Keep an eye here in Amazon. Axios reporting that a senator has written to Amazon with regards to price hikes that are tied to tariffs. So keep an eye on AMZN. Also, just with regards to this market in general, I mentioned earlier, right now we were seeing maybe maximum 2 rate cuts, likely potentially one in September and then one in December. Now, apparently, traders are pricing in a less than 50% chance of a September rate cut. So it looks like we're only going to have one based on what I'm seeing. That cut would potentially happen in December, but we'll have to wait and see. Again, just to recap, Amazon getting a letter from a senator with regards to tariff-related price hikes, and apparently these rates not likely to be cut until maybe only once this year, certainly not in September.
No rate cut this year, yeah. So we'll wait to see what winds up coming of that news. We do not get that Palantir number there today. So yeah, it does not. It gets to 80 and falls off. So we'll have to wait. I'm still trying to buy a little bit down there if we do get lower on PLTR. So that position is still pending. Yeah, what's your IWM?
Well, it's getting smoked, obviously. Yeah. He's talking no cuts.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, IWM is going to get shellacked. So they don't like that one. But I did look. I said this is it's not an unrelated trade, but I did say if PayPal got to $70 even, that I was going to take that today. It bounced off of my low of the day on my level 2 is incorrect because it says 64.77. It clearly did not. The low of the day is $70.04. So it broke down. It bounced off it. I waited till some buyers started to step in front, and I ended up getting 13s. You know, you could have had ones, you could have had like 4s and 5s and 6s and all that good stuff. But I wanted to see it bounce because the market, like taking this on a regular day after when it's SSR and taking it on a Fed day are two different things. If the market decides they wanted to continue blasting down because he's still on the podium and saying things we don't want to hear, that a lot of people don't want to hear, then this is not going to hold some technical level. Once I see it start to have buyers in front, then we'll jump into it. So I want to see if we can get back into the prior support. 70.5 is the goal for the scalp trade. We're well into power hour. In 20 minutes or so, we'll start looking at some early look imbalances. Not expecting anything too crazy, but on Fed day, you never know. Could see some imbalances on things like NVIDIA. Every now and then, you'll see this one have a big one. NVIDIA is holding up nicely.
All right, I was just listening here. There's still live comments coming through. Palantir goes, so we'll hit the winner for that one. We'll see if we can start stacking up a little bit more there. I'm thinking about the Nasdaq. It's got to break this level right there. So if we go over to the TQQs, again, it's basically 89 where we got stopped out. It does go all the way down to 88.20, but an 89 take. I think we're going to try that again just to see if we can get back up there to the upside. I don't know if anything's being said that is unbelievable or anything. So we'll try it. We'll try it for about a unit there if we break above 89. You know, the no rate hike, like Neil said, we'll see about that, if that is something that they are actually going to follow or not, or no rate cut, sorry. There's definitely no rate hike coming. And I don't know, can Powell just keep absorbing all this sort of hatred coming from the president before eventually there's some kind of a decision made? I don't know. We already know that his job is probably up, but I think he's going to stay the course. We still have to get the jobs number on Friday. That's going to be real big. Dollar's starting to pull back a little bit right now, so I'm not looking at rates. I'm just looking at the USD, and it is trying to make a move back downside again, so we'll see about that. There it is. We are now into the TQs. Palantir's flying right now, so that's a great little take for us there, PLTR. PLTL now $1 in the money, so we're happy with that trade. Google's all the way back up as well. We are out of that, though. There's the offer, and there's the out for Palantir. So far, so good right there at VWAP. We like that trade. And then there's the TQQs. Just spiked up pretty good there into 89.20s before falling out again. So there it is, man. As he keeps on talking, like I said, you get some of those bumps and then dump. So I don't know. Still watching out for this PLTR trade, and we just got into the futures, trying to break a little bit higher now. Like we said, it's 312. He was on at about 338. So it's been at 30 to 40 minutes now. We'll see if the market wants to continue its upside push. That's been happening over the last 5 minutes, but it is a downside play there as the interest rate comes out as expected with absolutely no decision made on that front. But before I throw it back to you, Neil, I just want to see if the Fed rate tool has changed at all. Normally this is updated real time, so I don't really understand. Yeah, okay, so it is getting worse. So right there, this was at 44% chance of 2 rate cuts. Now it's 38, and that has moved over here. So now the September rate cut looks less likely. Actually, now we're 50-50. Uh-oh. Now it's 50%. Okay, I hope it stays like this so that when you guys watch us on my birthday, September 17th, you're going to see some wild action, man, because 47% says yes, 47% says, 51% says no right now. So there's going to be some actionable trades coming in September as long as they stay like this.
Disputed rate decision days are a different beast.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Just a totally different beast.
Action.
Back in those days, there was actually, like on the floor, like trainees literally weren't even allowed to trade if they were in live. You wouldn't let, it's like you're not trading that because the volatility, you just need to be faster, that's all. because the volatility is absolutely through the roof if it's disputed. And it's like, don't have positions on going into the number. My guess, though, is it won't be 50-50. I think because we're going to get big jobs data on Friday, and that's very likely to shift us in one direction or another. That's the only reason. Like, I find it hard to believe that we won't have some more certainty. But certainly we don't like what we're hearing. But as he's getting away from the podium, the market's starting to bounce a little bit here. Finally, we're catching a bit of a bid. The Nasdaq's going to go back green in like 2 prints.
Good.
We're down 0.04. The ES is down a little bit more, but then have a look see at Nvidia and some of the chip names, and that might be a reason why the Nasdaq's faring just a little bit better. Man, they're still asking him questions.
Let's go.
It's still 3:15. Like, I'm expecting him off the podium, and I want to be able to add to some things when he gets off the podium to hit a little bit of a bounce. But glad we found the 70 level.
I'm fine with him staying on. I'm fine with him staying on. Yeah, no, we just made a lot back right now with this recent move higher. I'm really glad that we talked about this Palantir buy. Right now, this is $1.50 in the money, so there it goes, man. Know your stocks and trade what you know. And then also the futures right there blasting higher as well, man. 89.60 is done. The event is now ended. So, all right, I don't know. We'll take this opportunity to get out of some more there. We get out of some more Qs there at 32. Palantir, we have less than half of this position, but I'm going to get out of another piece here in the high 30s if we can. He's now gone, so we'll take a nice piece out there at 37, piece out on the futures, and that's that. So just in my ear. Okay, let's go over to Adara. There wasn't much talk there. Adara, what's up?
Yeah, the FOMC meeting just ended. Nothing too crazy. He faced a lot of questions with regards to why are you not cutting? What are you waiting for to cut? He said that there's a lot of, I guess, just issues here with regards to knowing what types of inflation are on watch, certain metrics they're waiting for as well. He did say even about this GDP print that got this morning that, quote, GDP is bumpy quarter to quarter and it's often revised. So he does not seem like he is very willing to rely on the GDP print we got this morning. Also, he did step off the podium. His last question was regarding whether or not he'd stay on as a Fed governor after his term ends, and he did not respond. Back to you.
I heard in my ear that he said that decision wasn't up to him or something, but that's, I don't know. I mean, would he like to? Probably. But, that's for him and his family to decide, obviously. And he's got to get offered it, so. But yeah, good question and answer period right there. I wish that I had, again, being on a prop floor for 24 years, once there's a problem, I get out. But yeah, there shouldn't have been any problems there. You never know how far it's going to go down. So again, when you're throwing around, can be millions of dollars into these names, it's not worth hanging around, because if this continues, or even like what was my net going to be if I held it when it's all the way down here at 177, do I make, unreasonable decisions because the risk is too big, right? And so I don't like to do that. I like to try to be as level-headed and as clear-minded and about all these trades as possible. So that's what we do. And then when we start to rip up like this, we get out. And that's why we use these lines. I mean, how many outs right into here, into VWAP, 50 period and everything, nice spike higher right there. And I was saying, Jerome, stay on. Because it was working, and now it's coming back in a little bit. So yeah, pretty successful overall right there. We gave up Google too early as well. That came back up to 196.50 there. But we'll wait to see if there is any more pullbacks. Robinhood had a good dump as well to the downside there. Now came all the way back. I see Sharif is saying, is it for the after show? Are you doing tomorrow as well? Tomorrow's okay. So Sharif, Neil, and Adara today, and then Sharif, myself, and Adara tomorrow. And then I won't be here on Friday. That'll be Obi, so I won't be able to trade Apple. No, but it's the next day. Yeah, I won't be able to trade Apple or Amazon. I really like Amazon, actually. Let me have a quick look at that. I haven't looked at this at all today. Down still, so down 0.5% right now. Amazon less than down more than the market. So we'll stay away from buying dips on Amazon because it's just not as aggressive today as the market. I'm already trading the market. So we'll wait to see if the S&P and the Nasdaq get going off of that Jerome Powell talk. Palantir has been a good one. Other than that, man, just waiting to see what hits on some of these alerts. E-Signal, this is what we're using. Coinbase right now. Maybe add a moving average. Palantir, NVIDIA, AMD. It's all the same names. Broadcom.
They kind of sold that JP Morgan news.
I went down to 297. Oh, for Coin?
For Coinbase this morning. This morning, you really thought Coinbase was going to go ham. To be honest, like that's the best way to think about it. You could partner up with JP Morgan, going to be able to access crypto with your bank account, use credit card. Just the integration makes so much sense with who are the big boys. And then somebody brick-walled it at $385. Like, who was the seller? It's the same. It's like someone was selling there at the open yesterday, but you couldn't tell because it just dumped off that price. But then multiple times at the open, then at 11 o'clock, even here in the afternoon, someone has dumped Citi once this thing gets close to $385. And this hasn't had a good day in a minute since it made that push into 440. You know what I'm going to say next. If this market recovers, we need to be breaking out 386. Forget about 85 because that's where the seller is. It needs to take out 86. Once you're above that, huge gap fill potential for Coinbase. I really hope we get a shot at that tomorrow. I have a funny feeling, though, it's going to matter what happens to Hood tonight. So, yeah, Robinhood, do well, because we'd like to be taking a breakout on Coinbase. When you see an obvious seller like that, there's nothing better for a breakout trade than when it releases or finally punches through. And then we can get that long in coin, which I thought might have happened today. We'll have to wait for it. So anyways, the only thing I'm in is that PayPal off of the 70 level. It's trying to hold. It just bounced another time here off of 70. But with the market now done with Powell and not really screaming much to the upside, might just be a muted scalp trade. That's it. Tomorrow it's not going to be SSR, and hopefully it can hold the 70 support for tomorrow. This is one of those let it chill for a couple of days. I like 70 on the daily, but if we don't start bouncing and closing, close 71, close 72, then really you could just be headed even lower. Doesn't matter that they beat with PayPal. I get it. We got a question. Someone was asking me in the chat, why is Alphabet with a PE at like 20? Why is that getting sold off? There's still Alphabet. YouTube's huge. Everyone's still, they still dominate the search game. Yep. It doesn't matter. I mean, I bought some Alphabet after the earnings when it fell, and I remember I was choosing, do I want to dip by Alphabet or IBM? Two stocks I already own. And I went with Alphabet, and I'm lamenting. Well, I'm not lamenting it, but I remember it was like half an hour later or whatever, IBM was instantly better. I guess they're both the same now. But it doesn't matter. The stock market doesn't have to immediately reflect your fundamental opinion. Sometimes it's as simple as stock had trended up so much going into the earnings, slightest reason for it to go down, and it goes down. Or it could be that everybody is concerned with AI shifting the model for Alphabet and then forgetting they have a bunch of other levers that they can pull, and that they can make this still work. Everyone's afraid of this OpenAI browser, which I get it. It'll be a bit of a problem for them. But look at the stock. It's also been trending up going into that earnings print and having trouble breaking out the top of this trend line. So maybe you temper expectations. A lot of times you run into an obvious technical resistance like this and close to the highs, and there's just profit takers. You could have had this at $140 at those lows. It's not a bad return to be able to get some risk off.
No, I like all that talk. All right, we're hearing something about Iran right now and oil. So we'll see what's going on right now. So oil is kind of going upside right now. So we'll wait to see if there is a story there at all. Maybe not. All right, so yeah, to try to get a little bit creative, trying to find some trades for everybody. Well, one negative, Nancy, that we were looking for was Uber earlier on today. And I actually wrote this down on my note that we wanted Uber. Oh, no, I actually didn't have it on there, but it was going to be $88. That was that same breaking spot. So we actually got there early today, up to $88. And then now we almost get there again just before rate announcement. So that could be something that we wind up looking at some point here again. Today would be UBER. If we can get upside, that could be a good short Uber into that area. I'm going to let the Nasdaq fall down. We don't have very many shares left on this trade because we weren't super aggressive on that break anyways. I'm going to see if we can get back into this 89.40 area and then go long, and then use this bottom of 88.40, and then use 88.20 or so as our out. Pretty comfortable doing that. Let's just wait to see if we are able to get a little bit of a fill, a backfill down here. I'll buy some right now because it is a nice move down. If we can get some low 70s, which we might get right there. I'm at 72. Do we get filled? Yes, we did. Okay, so now we're filled at 72. Look how choppy these quotes are. It's not that the quotes are a problem. It's just the market right now just trying to figure out what it wants to do.
Bursty is what I've used.
Bursty's a good word there. Yeah, for sure. So bursty quotes. I like that. So we'll have to wait. Algo-driven market right now. Quick check on the dollar. So we get, by the way, just thank you for joining us. Rate cut, not. So as expected today, 0 rate cuts. And now we're looking at a 50-50 chance for September. That came out of nowhere. It was like 70% or 68% earlier today. Strong U.S. dollar not helping anything today. U.S. dollar up 1% right now. So we did dip by that Qs. Remember, we're waiting for a much bigger position at 88.40. Then that's just where we bounced off of and found some kind of support. So maybe we get that, and then it's only going to be 20 cents or so worth of risk down there. So if we break that bottom, good. Not good, but that's where our out will be if that does come through. So the DXY right now. And then tonight, man, big earnings coming later on tonight. I'm going to go get that from Trader TV Research. Adara has a great post there about all the earnings today. So TTV Research, Google that, come up to it. Here it is right now on my page. Oh, she has a nice little Fed Chair Powell thing here, complete history. So I know she's been pumping these all day, but go over there. Some pretty cool graphics that she's been making. I think Canva right now is what we've been using over there. So there it is, special delivery. And there it is right now. Oh, this is for tomorrow, actually. That's the 30. That's the 31st. Yeah, we're gonna find it. Bless you. There it is right here. Blue tie. Okay, blue tie. Okay, that's interesting. All right, lower, lower, lower. How much lower? Here we go. So this is what's going on tonight. Pretty interesting names, man. Qualcomm at 4. Qualcomm. I mean, we didn't even talk about that. Another major name there. You know, I sneezed like 400 times yesterday. Honest. Once I get going, I can't stop. There'll be like 20 in a row. Shout out to my wife if you're watching. She's like,
this stuff is killing me.
Like, what's wrong with you? I'm just like, this is what happens. I think it's like a Katina thing. My mom always sneezes.
Yeah, but there's so much dust in here. If you have allergies, we have construction going on to make the floor bigger, better. The show is going to be out of control when you guys see the finished product.
Yeah, it'll be completely in control, but you guys will be like, wow, this show's out of control.
No one says out of control anymore. That's like literally, what, 1998?
You know, you've lost control.
I am who I am.
Yeah. So what we're doing tonight is keeping it real with Ford there, Carvana or Ford. I'd take Carvana, eBay as well, Albemarle coming through, Meta, Robinhood.
Don't sleep on Lamb.
Where's LRCX? Oh, there it is, right there. Yeah, Lamb Research. Yeah, LRC. Yeah, I mean, I've slept on Qualcomm. Qualcomm's a huge name in this space. So yeah, man, well, I think we are ignoring some of those because we're looking right here at Meta, Robinhood, and Sir Softy.
Well, Lamb's been eating ASML's lunch. Like, if you look at Lamb, and it used to be ASML was like, because the companies that make the machines that make the chips, right? That's Lamb, that's AMAT, that's ASML. ASML had like just the monopoly on their high lithography machine. Flat out, you have to have it to make the high-end chips. But they've been under way more pressure with the Chinese chip curbs. And so recently, it's been ASML, load. And the primary market's Amsterdam, but I'm pulling it up in the US. ASML struggling a little bit to get off the schneid. And as a matter of fact, like under the 50 period, at the 200 period and trending down. Meanwhile, you know, Lamb, LRCX has been doing just fine. I don't want to be jinxing it. Oh, that's not post-split, but like looking absolutely fine. Ignore the 200 period because it's not split adjusted, but near those highs. My concern would be like everything else. Has the run-up into earnings been too good? It doubled from the lows. Now, we talked about, like, what was it, Google was only up like 40, 45% or something from the bottom, and then it sold off on a great report. That's the concern with something like Lamb. It's such a steady rise to the upside. You're under $100, it might not matter what they report. But this is a good bellwether stock. Some of the chip strength that we have, we're going to want to see Lamb report some good numbers. We're going to want to see their guidance be good as well. But we'll tackle that in the aftermarket. There's a ton to get to. So many names. And then tomorrow, you do it all over again.
7. I was just trying to think about where do we buy 156.80. I was thinking about like where do we buy Palantir again if we do fall back. That's still NVIDIA. It's all alphabetical on my blotter here. There's Palantir. So I'm looking. I have 156.80s. So basically this bottom here, using that as our out. So if this has to still fall 80 more cents before I'm super excited about that one. And yeah, last earnings call, I did talk about Google downside, Tesla upside. that was initially wrong, but you know, since Tesla's earnings report, it's been nothing but upside. I mean, today is going to be bad, down 1.6%, but we were down here on Tesla's report, of course, 304, and then boom, right there back up to the upside. So sometimes like one day, it's pretty hard, right? I mean, I think you get, that's why it's not worth, whenever I'm trying to make a call, you know, obviously we always focus on the next day because we're trying to make a call. You guys are buying shares or options or whatever. But like, look what happened to Starbucks. I mean, they were up. So you'd be like, yeah, man, we talked about Starbucks being up on earnings, right? I mean, sure it was. You had $93 close, and then this morning it opened up at $98, up 6%. But then the market was like, wow, that's a nice prediction, and whoosh, all the way back down into red territory where we are right now. And in fact, it went down 2%, Starbucks. So this is what I'm talking about. Like, you could be right on where you're thinking the business is going, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're right the next day, the next week, the next month. So especially when earnings are there, that's why you pay such a big premium for options heading into earnings. You never know what that's going to look like. You just try to make a call, and sometimes you stick your neck out and it get chop off, guillotine style. Chop it off. Did we wind up finding out what my boy Joe looks like in dreads? He said he was going to come with those pictures.
We've still yet to see any evidence that Joey Options ever had dreads.
Right.
And as we've said before,
I do
there's
believe
a 0% chance.
The pie thing.
No, but I'm just saying, like, when you're in your youth, like, you can.
My brother had.
No, but I can tell you, I know, I've seen Mike.
Yeah.
Sean's little brother had dreads. I had a cameo. I can produce video evidence. Of course I can. It's a junior high school. Like, you're gonna have video evidence. Well, probably video
evidence is fine to say. Yeah.
No, it'll be there. So as far as I'm concerned, it didn't happen, and he never had dreads until proven otherwise. I'll just leave it at that.
I believe we're going over to Adara.
Yeah.
Keep an eye here on these earnings names after the bell. As you guys know, for the last, I think, 2 earnings seasons, maybe 3, I've been doing these for all of our major earnings events. You can take a look at the expected move and the expected time of arrival for a whole host of earnings reports. I choose the most closely watched. As you can see here, the biggest expected moves, maybe not surprisingly, are Carvana and Applied Digital, though ARM here in third place, 8.8% expected move. Albemarle, shockingly here, 7.2% expected move. So if you want to look at all these expected moves, check this out on X at TTV Research. Of course, myself, Sharif, and Neil will cover all of these for you guys after the bell. Definitely check out the Market Recap show and familiarize yourself first with these infographics. X at TTV Research. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Adara. I could have hit the key. Oh, that's what you're supposed to hit this, Neil.
Thank you very much, Adara.
There it is. I love. Shout out to Fabian for getting that one to us quickly. It's after 3:30. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Fabian, with the ill flow, which we have something we should be talking about. We'll start that up tomorrow. We'll start talking about this tomorrow because something really cool is going to be happening with that flow that you see going there. Because Fabian is a man of the people and a generous soul. You can imagine what that might be, but I think it's important. We'll talk about that starting tomorrow. He's a super smart guy and very gifted. We have a great team making us look and sound good. Let's be real. Hold on a second. What you guys didn't just hear is I just said we have a great team that makes us look and sound good and all the stuff you see in the back. Sharif, without skipping a beat, said except Ram. Ramin has been crushing it with our social media, especially, and Sharif shouldn't be saying this because if you look at she's doing all the TikTok, and they've been absolutely crushing it. I am Team Ramin 100%. At the end of the day, you know, the broadcast is a team sport, just like you need 11 people on the football field or 5 on a basketball court, 9 on a diamond, man. We need everybody here. Early looks on the imbalances, not much, but I do see TSLZ for a sell of 1 million shares. That's about it. There is Novo here for 700,000 to the sell side. Yeah, Novo's definitely in play after dumping on earnings, but it's done 56 million shares. So 700,000 isn't that big of a deal. No, I said, oh, we have a great team. We were talking about Fabian. I go, we have a great team making us look and sound good, not just who you see on the camera. And Sharif, without skipping a beat, except Ram.
Oh.
That's why I just simply said that I am Team Ram.
He has a crush on
in that
Ram.
battle. Well, that's usually how it works, right?
Yeah.
That's usually how it works.
Right there. Why not?
What, they do act.
I mean, you might not want to tell Ramin's man that right now.
But they act like a brother and sister. like very much so. Like it's very much that dynamic between the two of them. They're always chapping each other.
All right.
But then the other day, I simply, all I said was I'm Team Ram Ram, and she gave me like chocolate. So that's, I'm all for positive.
I really think I've been Team
reinforcement.
Ram Ram from day one.
I mean, Ramin.
She knows that.
Ramin might be the most important person on our entire team.
I love these little Reese's Pieces.
You see what I'm saying?
Not only that, Ramin's got like the Costco size Reese's Pieces.
Ramin is the
Thank you, Ramin.
kindest.
I'll get these things out of here before. I'm gonna go deliver them back to her. This is what.
That's how nice you are. I'm gonna. Yeah, but
Like
if you
opening
do
a
that,
door
then
on
I
a date.
can't
You know
eat.
what I'm saying?
Okay, so
We're back.
I'm just saying we have a great, fantastic team around here, led by Ramin.
Led by, yeah.
See how that worked?
Got one in, one out.
No, I'm just simply saying, like, it's very, very simple.
All right.
Positive reinforcement.
I do want to say something to everybody right now. I want to thank absolutely all of you for coming through, man. Our numbers are getting bigger as this show goes on, so we want to thank everybody for that. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. I'm just going to have a quick look to see how many people are here with us right now. My computer won't. Okay. Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, Powell, what's going on? Hey, man, you spent too much money on that renovation, Powell. Come on, my guy, over there. 639 likes. Thank you so much. 7,000 of you watching. Great. And if you're watching right now, get into the chat, hit the like, hit the subscribe. If you don't hit the subscribe, you cannot be a member. It's completely for free. We're doing this show for free. YouTube, you got to watch those ads. But hit the like, hit the subscribe. Thank you so much. All this action that you're seeing behind us right now, Peter and Russell are dropping down these boards right now as the painting's going to start to get real around here very, very soon. I just walked by them. I thanked them. Thanks for working so hard. And I was like, this is how it's like a gym workout. They're carrying these huge pieces of not wood. What do you call those things? Partition boards, I guess, and laying them down there. So thank you to these guys for putting up all of this stuff. And as we mentioned, all the Russell, you know what I noticed here? All this hard work's being done, and Randy's gone. You know what I'm saying? These guys laughing back there right now. I mean, there's no problem when it's painting. Randy's here, no problem. But like bringing things in and everything. Shout out to Randy. I've known Randy for 26 years.
We know Randy's not doing the heavy lifting. But Randy does. He's a jack of all trades.
Right.
He literally made.
Randy's the best supervisor around.
He's a really good supervisor.
Board, as he always used to yell. Shout out to the guys in the chat there. What's up, top dog?
Randy's that dude that like when he walks in the office, it's like it's all smiles, always positive, just so chill. Good peoples. But I just saw Notorious Dinkelberg. Randy's a worker. He is. And Sean Katina, let's go, Donkey Kong.
Yeah, DraftKings has been super hot fire, man. And I'm glad that people are calling this name Donkey Kong by its proper terminology.
As it should be.
The thing is like
flying right now.
Yeah, so
look at the volume.
With no rate cuts, I wouldn't be expecting this for DraftKings, but you are coiling up quite nicely right now. There's reasons why I was talking about this name. I mean, So I put an order here that I didn't realize I left in. So when we came back into this area, this goes all the way back to August, and then we dipped down here in April, and I missed that trade down there. It went all the way to the upside there, and we actually had a bid down here at $34 or so for DraftKings right there. So when it came back in, we did get filled. So we are long DraftKings down here, just a starter position, probably like 25% of. So if normally I'm buying $10,000 worth, I have $2,500, like whatever. The math makes sense. So Matt, hey, what's up to math? Right there, but nice move, and it's now trying to break out. Don't want to sell this name. I like the first mover advantage. DraftKings and FanDuel, definitely worth holding on to, in my opinion. As more and more states become legalized for gambling, I like that fact. Kalshi just got a deal with XAI. So now, and Kalshi again is not necessarily, they have sports on Kalshi, but as DraftKings and all these companies sort of get together, I think online gambling is here to stay. And it's just so easy to do it. I could sit down, bet Vladimir Guerrero to get out or whatever as we go, or the Blue Jays to potentially win the World Series. I wonder what those odds are.
Or a Cleveland Indian pitcher to throw a ball on the first pitch of the inning.
Right, yeah, 11 straight or whatever you said there, getting investigated. And that's part of it. That was that story there where this guy, you can now bet on pitches. So now there's a player being investigated.
Two of them on the same team.
On the same team.
This one idiot, it's like, here's
We had that idiot Raptor
He's like
guy.
the best closer in the American League.
What?
He is. He's the #1 closer in
And
the
he
American
was
League.
doing that?
And it's like 22 times he threw a first pitch with nobody on and nobody out, right? And of those 22, literally half of them were completely uncompetitive, like way out of the zone, and now he's being investigated. But you know what? If you want to dance like Carlton or investigate a quality charting platform
that?
to
I
find
missed it.
trade opportunities, then eSignal is for you, and the first month is free, everybody. That's right. You heard me right. The first month is still free. Trade smarter, not harder. Get an easy-to-use platform that is highly customizable, that's entitlement-based. You pay for what you want to at eSignal, and you don't pay for a month. Now, on top of that, you can see right here. I don't know why I'm pointing to it. I got to do this. You have level 2 access if you want to add that. You can get the imbalance locator if you want to look at that. And again, every single indicator and the wealth of markets, not just the U.S. markets, for you to be able to trade. eSignal, it's a great platform. You try it out for a month. No harm, no foul. Scan the QR code you see on the screen. Oh, maybe it's not there right now, but you can find the link in the description. Shout out to eSignal. And speaking of this DraftKings chart, I don't know what you call this.
I mean, NFL season 2 coming up. I forgot about that.
Look at the resistance here. Like, you break 46. There's only one level above 46 here. Kind of an obvious one on the weekly chart. On a weekly chart, you need to close above it for me to care. But NFL season is looming.
I got to get out of this.
With college football too, a really, really big deal. It's cool to see Notre Dame doing well again.
Yeah, there'll be a big year for college sports,
big time.
Especially now with all the transfer portals and all that. I mean, the NCAA, these kids are now they're actually losing money by getting drafted into the NFL. There's a lot of kids. Like, they're making $4, $5, $6 million playing in
But that's
college.
why Arch can stay. Like, Arch Manning.
Right. I mean, it's crazy.
Arch Manning has so much leverage if he doesn't want to go to the team that's going to pick him at 1, because he could just stay another year. Like, it's not even a given. He'll be the #1 quarterback this year, but it's not even a given he'll come out. Texas will get to a bowl game, if not play for the national championship. He will make millions of dollars.
I think a Manning will come out.
Obviously, his family has made a lot of money, so it doesn't matter to him. But it's just a different ballgame. It gives him a lot of options. And
now remember, if you get picked first overall, then you make, I think it's $13 million.
Yeah, but let's just say he really doesn't like the team, like an Eli Manning situation.
Like an Eli Manning situation. Yeah, his uncle already did it.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
Why not? Yeah, I would love that. What's up, Brent Roth says we should sell tickets for a live studio audience. We wouldn't sell them, we just give them to people.
Yeah, I mean, we do the show for free.
Yeah, I mean, once, I mean, that's something that we could talk about once we're back into action here a little bit. And
it's going to be
the floor is
obviously a huge
built.
studio.
Yeah, it's unbelievably huge.
Bigger than before.
Like a dance club up in
You could legitimately have a party in here, like a real party, not like we'd have like poker games here on the floor.
Oh, it's huge. I don't know.
It is huge. You could do DJ in the corner, dance music.
Right, all right.
I'm just saying.
I was just looking here. Look, I gotta pause this right here because my guy tried to slip one by me here and it was showing up behind. All right, this is Sharif right here. I just found this right now. So and then people are like, oh my god, in the chat. So I was just watching. I was like, let me watch it. There I'm doing this stupid Italian thing, and then here comes out of nowhere. He puts his water down right here. Here we go. There's Brendo. I didn't even realize Brendo was here. What is? There he is. He's got the Carlton going on right there.
Legit.
I like that. Look at me. None of us even, and then we went right to eSignal. That was like, look at that. eSignal does.
That is the greatest eSignal ad of all time.
Unbelievable, the team love anymore. What is it, Barry Manilow song right there
Barry
again?
Manilow.
It is not Barry Manilow, it's Tom Jones.
Oh. You know what? It's Barry Manilow was Carlton's favorite, but that was Tom Jones.
That's just a great dance at the end of the day, and I'm actually going to watch it again. There's a Dara. Oh, we had a great little walk by right here. at some point. All right, there's only a couple more minutes left until the imbalance. Once it comes, okay, there I do that hand thing. Okay, here he comes. Here comes Sharif. Again, Brendan's just like, I gotta get out of here before this happens. There it is right now. You know, you're in a good mood right there. What's up, Sharif? As it goes to each signal now. There it goes. Man. So shout out there. He's got some decent moves.
Those moves.
Right there. So that's that dance floor action that we're talking about. So thanks, Sharif, for doing that. Okay, but anyways, market, I was just gonna say with these imbalances coming through, there could be a big imbalance surprise today. I mean, it's not looking overly well. These are all New York names. Any Nasdaq name is from a different time. You want to see 350, 341 right here are all the most recent updates, but we're not getting too much action. We'll get the Nasdaq and the New York imbalances coming out at 350. So at 350, they'll all come out and then we can play it off of that. So there it goes, man. So far, so good as we go. So yeah, TQs, downside push. I wanted to try to buy those 80-40s. I think we still will. I'm going to lower the default a little bit, but you know, right now the market's trading its own ways. I don't think we're going to have too many more opportunities here today to trade with these imbalances coming out. So again, thanks to everybody. Thanks you for the talk about the DXY. Everybody there in the chat that was looking at the dollar strength with me. We still do wind up holding up there. There's the number coming out, and there's the dollar upside. We were only, well, right now we're only up 0.92. Right now on the DXY today. So a nice move. Higher up 1%. The market, I mean, beating the market, right? The Nasdaq down right here, 0.24, as we get that no announcement from Powell and the ES finally goes down. So, you know, after what's been many, many days of nothing but upside, we now finally, and again, yesterday,
I mean,
I don't know if it was red or not yesterday. I don't think it was the ES red yesterday, but anyways, there it is. Finally, a little bit of a pullback. We'll see if we can cover that up tomorrow with big earnings tonight coming. Sharif, Adara, and Neil after hours. You're not going anywhere. As soon as 4 o'clock hits, we're flipping over there, and then we got to go. I got to go to High Park. We've got practices tonight. I'm picking up a couple kids as well, so that should be a lot of fun. And then I'm in tomorrow. Obi's in Friday, and it should be a good one more time. But Palantir still $1. I don't know what to do. Just wait for these imbalances, I guess.
Yeah, with about 5 minutes to go, you already showed there's no early looking balances. ES was down yesterday.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, not... I mean, it wasn't huge, but the ES was down. The ES bleeding a little bit more than the Nasdaq, but it's still not, like percentage-wise, it's not that big of a deal because it looks extreme because of the sideways action that we've been playing around with. This is a 60-minute chart. Usually you'll see me with 15-minute charts, but on the futures I have like 60-minute charts, everybody. So it's not that big of a move to the downside, but it wasn't what we were expecting when we got a no rate cut, no rate change. Really just came down to Powell pumping the brakes on expectations of that September cut by a wide margin. Let's go back to the desk. Adara.
Really bizarre catalyst for Celsius holding CELH. I'm just seeing this on CNBC. High Noon, which of course produces an alcoholic beverage, recalling some of its 12 packs because apparently these 12 packs contain Celsius energy cans with High Noon in them. So somehow High Noon's product ending up in Celsius energy drink cans. Really bizarre catalyst. CELH selling off here, I mean, along with the rest of the market. But either way, keep an eye on Celsius. Again, very unique catalyst involving some mislabeled and mispackaged beverages. Back to you.
It's like, I hope that happens to me. Like, I'm going to put an order in for like an iPhone 14. It's like, wow, I got an iPhone 16 Pro. And It's like, but I don't know how that happens. I guess there's same bottling company potentially there. That's
well, they do like a lot of times.
Not a reason to sell anything off. I don't.
Yeah, like one company will do like bottling from multiple brands.
I would think so. I don't know enough about that business, but that would make sense.
Doesn't seem like that.
Yeah, so I think that's a reason to buy Celsius Holdings. You know, it seems just like a mistake. But, or if we think about it, bigger picture, maybe they are having some production issues there, and maybe their production unit not to be trusted for some strange reason. But I don't know all about that. But what I do know right now is we get a little bit of a face slapper right now happening. So that was a good trade for me. Anyways, so far on the TQs, as it's trying to go back to the upside right now, we don't need to buy more of it. So we just made a keystroke error. So let me get out right here of that trade. We didn't mean to buy more right there. We actually got a little bit excited there and hit some keys quite quickly. But there it is. So we just had a nice move. We've been buying this. Forget about my average price right now. It's going to be off because we just put that buy through. But we were buying this at the end of the day on that downside. Now the TQ is trying to run to the top side. We do have only 2.5 minutes until everything changes when those imbalances come out. So I'm going to slip out of this trade. Did not mean to go a little longer there at the top. I was just on the wrong screen. So there it is. We'll get some out as it's trying to fall back in a little bit. Watch out for those imbalances coming now in 2 minutes.
Just 2 minutes, but shout out and thank you for the super chat here. It's Jack 5584. Is it a good idea to hold a Robin, which is ROBN is a 2x daily leveraged Robinhood ETF through Hood's earnings? We're not here to give you, like, we can show our day trades, and we'll talk about our personal swing trades. It's just it's a 2x. It's a 2x lever.
Oh, okay.
That's all. So all we can ever do is sort of give you an idea of what we see technically. My first thing would be, if you're already in it and you're saying hold through, well, it comes down to what was your plan when you bought it in the first place? And why would you alter that plan just because there happens to be earnings? Stick to your plan of action. And if your plan of action was to hold through earnings and you had a stop that's away from here because it's deep in the money, fair enough. If you are nervous that it's going to run your stop, then maybe you take some profit off. I have no idea where you got into it and what your plan of action might be. But we've seen this on stocks that have run this way where most of the risk is in the other direction, regardless of if they have a good report or not. Now, maybe it's SoFi's where it's fine overnight and then dumps the next, it's fine overnight and then dumps in the afternoon or like after the open, and you're good to go. Or maybe this kind of selling happens regardless right away, despite the fact that maybe they have a good report. Because SoFi had a blowout report, yet the second the market opened up, all they did is start selling it. So you have to have your own risk plan, because when you tell me hold through, that means you got in for some other reason. And I do not, I don't take a lot of swing trades, but when I have a swing trade, I don't change my plan of action unless something fundamentally changes in the stock. I might move a stop up because it's going in the money. I might tighten a stop because some big news happened or something like that, or a big move in a related name could have affected my stop. But, holding through earnings, of course, has a lot of risk. I'm not going to talk about hedging that you could do because that'd be way too pricey at this point. Only 10 minutes to go until the market closes. We're going to get the imbalances in 10 seconds. And by the way, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate it, and we'll always try to answer to the best of our abilities any questions. But have your own plan of action before you get in. Let's see if we have any big ones out there. ETHA, 3 million to the buy side.
Oh boy.
Sage is a buyout. IQ, small buy. FCX with a buy balance.
We did it, ladies and gentlemen.
Sell. Not much. Intel's a 1.5. Paramount, 1 million to the buy side. No big cap tech names, and we'll see what the overall market might be. 281 to sell. Nasdaq 888 to buy. Dow 55 to sell. So incredibly mixed.
All right, guys, we did it. We were holding for an imbalance, and we did it. TQs, and it's not even the imbalance, it's just the market went up. I mean, finally, we get one that bank are in our favor right now. We got out of that trade anyways. We were holding the same amount that we had in the initial spot, but there it goes. It's a nice move, man. This is almost now 80 cents in the money on this TQQ move to the upside, as this is what we're looking at. And there goes Palantir as well. Look at this buy there. This has helped me for sure right there. 157 on Palantir. Let's go, man. Props that up. We have actually multiple fills down there. 2 fills right down there at that low, just trying to play off there. We talked about that. Never came back in to give us a reload. I wasn't going to reload there, but let's take advantage of this huge move up there now for PLTR. $1.50 in the money right now. Boom. That's a good one, man. Let's go. It's a hot dog cannon kind of a close. We mentioned to you guys that, we love to trade these Fed day numbers. I think we did pretty good. Traded that NVIDIA. The only thing that we got dropped out on NVIDIA right there off that jump, and then Google as well, which are now both nicely recovered. But I think we did the best just waiting and being patient with the market, right? I mean, we take that initial dump, we were able to make money. That's the only loot loss right there when we broke. We went long 89.20, we broke 89, we got out right there. Buy the dips there when Jerome Powell's around, and that's exactly what we did. And then when he left, it didn't do too much, but this little closing helping us out. Looks like the Nasdaq says, what red candle? Maybe today we finish green. Zeros right there, but that's all going to change at 4 o'clock when we get the biggest earnings day of the cycle so far. I was going to say of the week, but then tomorrow, depending on
just as big.
what stocks you're looking at, both just as big. So I think Robinhood, Microsoft, Meta, big ones today. Don't sleep on Qualcomm. ARM is tonight as well. So Neil, Sharif, Adara, all on the closing show tonight. So this is the closing show, but we have a recap right after this. It's a half hour of nothing but excitement. So join these guys tonight, and we'll do that. But yeah, so far so good here on the day, man. TQQ is nicely cooking to the upside as we just get out of everything. So really happy so far with it. Yeah, see you, Joseph. And we'll say, pass it over to Neil. We only have a couple more minutes. Yeah, he just got an iPhone, a new one. What did he have? What did he have before?
He doesn't like it. He just bought it. How can he not like it when he just bought it, Sharif?
He can't connect to the internet?
Of course.
That sounds more like a Joe problem, in my opinion, right there. If I give my kids an iPhone 6, they're connecting to the internet with that.
Come on, man.
Poor Joe, man.
No,
poor Joe.
No, it's all in good fun. That's not the reason. Well, he just yelled out short it from the back.
Joe, there's a thing called airplane mode, man. Take it off.
It's not that, it shouldn't be that hard. I don't know why. Apparently it is hard for Apple to go up, but it's even harder for Joe to get an internet connection. Unfortunately, user error.
Joe, pay your bill. That's the thing. Joe, get over here.
You don't eat pie. Man. You can't connect to the internet. What's going on here?
It's a mess over here, bro.
What is? Didn't you have an iPhone before?
Yeah, but it was big time messed up, so I had to go and get a new one.
Yeah.
And so far, the experience is a 0 out of 10. To be honest with you, I would not recommend an iPhone to anybody. It's just,
I don't understand what the problem is, my guy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Nah, man, we're just loading. We've been loading for a long time here. It's been a tough go for sure. So I got to go home.
What did you get? A 256 or 128? Or
no, a 512 or
512.
Yeah. I got the 512 too. If we're doing it big. You know what I mean? And look, but it's been loading. You know what this honestly reminds me of? The iPhone, I think it was.
I like the case. I want to get a clear case like that.
Case.
What's the colorful iPhone ones? Remember that was the 10s or something.
Yeah, 8s or 9s or something. They had some color to them.
Something crazy. Anyway, short it, guys. Have a good one, ciao.
No one's shorting it.
How dare you say short Apple, man? You should be put into your. Wow. Okay. All right, let's go here. We have Trade the Pool. Trade the Pool swing trading programs. You can access up to $40,000 in buying power to trade real shares, not CFDs. You can hold positions. Guess what? Overnight, over the weekend, and enjoy limited risk. This is a one-time evaluation fee, no monthly payments, and no hidden costs. Take my boy Vicente again. This guy's a hero. He's locked in over $23,000 in profits since joining Trade the Pool. Not nearly Mitch's $1 million, but this is pretty good. $23,000 there in profits. His top performer, of course, is NMAX. I'm sure there's been better performance since this. He shorted it from April 20th to May 30th and pulled in 67 hunch. The Trade the Pool is giving swing traders the tools, the time, and the capital to thrive. Join Trade the Pool now by scanning that QR code and get your opportunity to make millions of dollars with Trade the Pool. Okay, so far so good, man.
Did he flip to small cell?
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm getting out of everything now as we go, so we'll wait out for that. A lot of people asking us, what some of these expectations are. I mean, Adara's given us lots of information there. You can go find us at Trader TV Research, where everything that Adara's been doing has been absolutely fantastic. But what we're looking for out of Robinhood today is 31 cents. So once that comes through, we'll figure out what that's doing. Donald Trump talking again on True Social right now, so we'll find out what that's going on. Palantir, a little bit of a dip down here. I'm just going to get out of everything. Get out of here. But that's Palantir right now. I'm just going to offer there at 31, see if we get it, and there it goes right there, props it up. Palantir, a good stock, man, goes right back upside for me. We're kind of 50-50. Loss on Google today, loss on Starbucks, make on futures, make on Palantir, make on NVIDIA, make on AMD, loss actually on Marvell. So as it broke the bottom there at the end of the day. Pretty flat day overall there for the names I traded.
Yeah, it was mixed for me. I was a 50-50 as well, no questions asked. But we are expecting some big movers. The biggest mover, Robinhood, just under 10% implied move. But let's be real, Carvana, 12%, APLD, 12% implied move, ARM, 9%. This is not just Meta and Microsoft, everybody, and Robinhood. We got a lot to cover. We're going to do it at the desk. We got the dream team, both today and tomorrow. Tonight and tomorrow, it'll be three of us. It'll be tonight myself, Sharif, and Adara. Tomorrow, Sean, Sharif, and Adara. Just we have some extra bodies out there so we can give you the best aftermarket show.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to go make sure that we are set up for, so we can throw right away. Good trade today. Let's go get them. And as always, Team Ram Ram. See if I can get some more Reese's Pieces.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Did you just say that?
I love that. We say it just to get Reese's Pieces, you know, right there. Ram right now, doing it all for us every single day. So, all right. And, you know, hopefully Neil's doing that, and hopefully I'm doing this, giving you guys some hopefully good trade opportunities. And there goes the futures. There goes the Qs, man. You know, again, putting myself out there, we all are every single day with these trades. And there's the TQQ. This is live trading, right? And I don't know, I feel pretty happy to be here every single day. I'd rather be nowhere else. So we have not only a great team here, but also the fact that I've been trading for over 23, 24 years and been able to sit here and make some of these plays, right? I mean, NVIDIA has been great today. Uber, Starbucks, man, I told Marissa we cannot buy this anymore. We had a nice move to the downside there, but we made a little bit back as we go now on the upside for Starbucks. We'll see if this can have a good day two play. The imbalances are what they are today. They weren't anything too fancy. The market didn't do too much as I watch. I mean, we're upside. We're long the futures right now. And by the way, that's now over $1 right now in the money on our TQQ position. We did punch more really by accident, and then we punched out of them. But we have Ford tonight as well. SoFi coming with a little bit of a sell to end the day. That's going to close out near the highs of the day as well. And then the big dog here, Robinhood. Adara's got lots of stuff out as well, but here it is right here. If you come over, I put all of the expectations here, the earnings estimate, the revenue, and the implied move here for all of the names that you're looking for tonight. Meta, Microsoft, Qualcomm, Robinhood, Carvana. As they go, they're all right here. So about 10 names. Go find those. Hit the like, hit the subscribe with our whole platform. Adara's got everything on lockdown for us. So thanks for all of that. All right, man, only 30 seconds left now. I'm going to exit the Qs trade. We're all the way to VWAP. So we went from 88.60 all the way to 89.60. That's called a dollar club. But we're going to offer it out right there. Take our 60 fill, get out, or 58s I think we got right there, out of the TQQs now with only 20 seconds to go. Will it be Ramin on the bell? Will it be Andre? Will it be Fabian? Will it be Adara? Or potentially will it be nobody right here, as we only now have 14 seconds to go with that bell. So here comes the countdown is now on. It will be Adara, it looks like, on the bell. And there's the chat. I really like that chat in there right now. 3, 2, I'm a little bit late, Adara, 2 and 1. And there we go. The market is now closed. As Neil mentioned, the dream team ready to go and rock and roll right now. It's Sharif. Thank you, Sharif, for staying late with us here again today to go over all of these earnings. Without any further ado, I know they're ready over there right now, so let's snap over. These earnings are coming out right now as we speak, so let's go over to the boys and talk about what's reporting. Ciao, everybody.
Market recap show brought to you by Beta Pro by Globex, and we got a wealth of names coming out. We're gonna have Qualcomm expected first. Meta, everybody, let's go. Zuck, give it to us. We want all-time highs. We'll take what we can get, and we won't get upset. We've got Microsoft coming through at 405. We've got Robinhood, Carvana, APLD will be there. ARM, Qualcomm earnings already out. I know we're focused. I know we care so much about Meta, but first off the bat is Qualcomm.
Yeah, here we go, Neil. Screen is ready. Earnings, 277 per share, beating consensus estimate of 271 by 2.4%. This is an 18.88% increase over earnings of 233. Not a bad look. The company reported quarterly sales guides of 10.365 billion, which again beat analyst consensus of 10.33 by about 1/3%. Not a bad look here, Neil, because last year on the quarter they printed 9.3 billion, so about $1 billion more in sales. Not a bad look, but down here 1.92% already after earnings.
Yeah, well, last time they moved 9%, and the implied move was 6%. So, you know, even though it's headed to the downside, not so bad, but it's not looking all that great. It's been boring in Qualcomm. Come on. You know, I think hopefully we get a little bit more fireworks. Nowhere near its highs. QCOM. Like, it's been basically you're trying to break a downward trend. The names we're going to get in a couple of minutes are breaking out and carrying the market literally on their back, and hopefully Atlas tonight doesn't shrug. Because
I got you.
Well, I
like the reference.
We basically just had Jerome Powell hint that we're not getting any cuts this year, and the market fell. People were like, we're tanking.
Yeah.
You think that we moved down today at the end of the day on the Qs?
Who's that beside you there, Neil?
That was Ram fixing my mic. Thank you, Ramin. You thought we moved down on the Qs?
Yes, sir.
If we have disappointment from Meta and Microsoft, this will be nothing. Yeah. That move will be nothing, everybody. We bought it right back up, and 2/3 of the move was already right back. So, yeah, Qualcomm so far not so good.
No.
But in a couple of minutes, we'll get to massive bellwethers when it comes to Meta. I'm very focused on, I want to see that, look, I want the CapEx spend to be good. I think that helps drag up a lot of names. I think that helps drag up the chips, some of the energy plays. If you're in GE Vernova or SMR, things like that, you're going to want to see it. But as we speak, the Qs just bumped to the upside already, which to me means someone's
moving
early.
Here. Softy's
Microsoft,
moving.
Are we 1 for 1?
Oh, baby.
Softy at 540 and already blasting higher. That's what I'm talking about. This matters more. See how the Qs rallied there when the Softy went to the upside? That's going to move the market.
Beautiful.
Forget about Jerome. Forget about the Fed, at least for a little bit. We care about Microsoft. I don't have the earnings out yet.
I'm still looking, Neil. Let me have a look at Benzinga. See if it's out here on B. Benzinga. No, still just getting older inputs, but there's the price action on Microsoft, guys, up 4 2/3 here with a high of just short of 45.
I got some numbers. We've got revenue, $76.4 billion, beating $73.8 billion estimates. You've got EPS of $3.65. I don't have a comparable there. Net income, $27 billion. Operating income, $34 billion. Intelligent cloud at $30 billion. Azure and other cloud services up 39%.
That's ridiculous.
This
is another all-time high here on Softy. This has got to be an all-time high, Neil. We're at 546. We're flying here, dude. We closed out, I think, at 515, maybe a little bit, 514. This thing is on one, Neil. We're 7%. Now, I still don't have numbers, believe it or not. What a move up, but Hood is also out. We'll get to that one in a second. It is really the Softy show right now,
so
though.
I'm seeing, I did get an EPS. That's an 8% beat on EPS, 365 versus 338. So a beat of 8% on EPS, a beat of 4% on revenues. Obviously, we want to see the guide. 24% up year over year on that EPS. Go Microsoft, go. Every time it hits the high, it's an all-time high for Microsoft. The Softy is it's going hard right now.
Yeah.
It's going hard to the upside.
Yeah, it clearly is. No innuendo there, but yeah, no, I'm still not getting anything on Microsoft, so I can't add any color, Neil, on any of the earnings reports, neither on my platform nor Benzinga, but the price action speaks volume, 6.25%. As you mentioned, coming out a little early. This one was slated for 405. It is 405 right now, but the earnings release was a little early. Here's the daily chart, just so we understand exactly where we closed out and where all-time highs were. We are already all-time highs today, breaking through that 519, and this is just adding to the good times, so to speak. Fantastic look here for Softy.
It's your turn, Zuck.
It is, yeah.
It's your turn, Zuck.
Go, Zuck.
All right, markets, your turn. Let's go to the upside. Meta just busted 735. That's a $35 move. Last I checked, it's about 5%. That's kind of easy math for you there. Meta making a power move to the upside. I don't have the numbers yet. We'll see what we can find on the old X machine there. Hey, that'll play. Oh,
Meta got it. Here we go. Here we go.
$47.5 billion in revenue. That's almost a 10% beat on revenue. Let's go.
All right, here it is, Neil. 714 EPS easily destroying. Let's call a spade a spade. 579 expected by the streets on sales revenue. That is $47.5 billion, expecting 44. So it's a $3 billion beat. It feels like we're talking millions here, but we're talking billions,
dude. We go in
Sizzla. I love it. We go in Sizzla. Wow, very good. This is a 21 2/3% Neil increase over the sales last year. They printed $39 billion. They're printing $47 billion. And we were talking about Shimu and TN being 11% of their revenue and pulling back on the ads. I guess a lot of people are stepping in to fill that, man.
Clearly they are. Now, there's one concern up top here for Meta. Microsoft was blue skies, right? Meta had not taken out this top. So let's be real, it's a double top up here just underneath 750. That's 747. Hey, that's a fun number. So that's what it's approaching as we speak. So you do have overhead resistance in this particular case. You'll want to see it bust 750. That'd be fantastic, but we will take it. And like we said, we're going Sizzler. Like, I love Meta. And this was my dip buy. This
I like
video out of the Mag 7 names. I missed the boat on Microsoft, but I think we got 2 of them that were right. The implied move was to be 6%. So that's what we're busting right now. When you go 6%, that's about the low 740s. So we're outside the expected move with the potential of now breaking all-time high.
Not surprised there whatsoever.
Get it, Mark. You know what's up. Now, I still want to see some of the other line items. I want to make sure when we get the full data, not just the top and bottom, what's going on with the CapEx spend, because I think that's going to rise. That has the potential to bring the chips along with it. But I promise you this, without even looking, well, I'm going to look right now.
Okay.
Meta up, Microsoft up. What do you think Amazon's doing?
Well, it's probably moving up.
Chilling. It's to the upside.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's only... Look, it's not up as much, but it's up a couple points. This is why the focus has to be on Softy. That's why it's on Meta. Now, ultimately, we didn't have this kind of exuberance follow through on Alphabet, and I'm a little disappointed. Alphabet on Sympathy does not break the highs. What are you doing? I don't get it. I'm not feeling it. I want it to be going with the rest. Obviously, this is also going to drive the Qs up. Remember we told you, Jerome, the Fed, doesn't matter as much. That entire drop this afternoon on the comments from Powell, dropping the expectations for a rate cut, and Meta and Microsoft have erased that entire move and then some. By themselves, everybody.
Absolutely.
By themselves. Because Qualcomm wasn't that good.
But Neil, we know the market's always forward-looking. It's always discounting. And so let's talk about the guide that Meta just dropped. Here it is, guys, on the screen. Meta sees Q3 sales, Neil, between $47.5 billion up to $50.5 billion. You know what the street was looking for? 45.8. So even the range, the entire range is already above what the estimates were by Wall Street, which were already lofty to begin with. Fantastic report here by Meta. Neil, this thing's going to clear 10%, man. We're already on the way to 8%. We're already blowing through 750 like it doesn't even matter. Like there's not a $50 area there. As you say, it's over. No, this is a fantastic look, guys. Really good guide. It was a beat on the top and bottom line, a huge beat, by the way. And we'll have to keep an eye out, as you mentioned, Neil, with respect to the CapEx. That's obviously going to affect revenues. But who was saying? Microsoft was saying that they're the ones that were going to slow down CapEx into 26, not necessarily, though, for 25. But again, the market very forward-looking, and we need to discount all this.
Oh, well, I think you have to, at least a little bit, but we can celebrate this one.
Oh, we can.
That's a big guide, and that matters almost more. Because if you're going to tell me that in this environment, with your increasing spending, and in this environment of uncertainty that everyone's talking about, you're upping your guidance when you're already at all-time highs, that's what we like to see. I love the confidence, and clearly they know what they're doing over there.
Let's talk about
We just go quickly. We'll let you guys know that Robinhood gives us another win in here. Robinhood reported they beat expectations, 42 cents per share versus 34% per share, 1.01 billion in revenue versus expectations of 989. Not as big of a move here on Hood. It got through 110 and got up to 111 and now starting to pull back. So not quite the party that we're seeing over here in Meta and Microsoft. Meta, by the way, still at all-time highs going because they absolutely love that guidance number. When the guidance came out, it pushed a new high and got almost to $760. And I'd like to see if Microsoft can keep pace, because it's also right back at the high, right into that 550 level.
Neil, I want to give people some more data over here, exactly what we were talking about, expenses. Here's what they're expecting, guys, on the screen. 114 billion to 118 billion in total expenses for full year 2025. That doesn't differentiate between their Reality Labs and their investments in AI, as well as their huge acquisitions in talent. Neil, I also want to give people another look here. Their largest single driver, they say, of 2026 growth will be infrastructure costs, driven by acceleration in the depreciation expense growth and higher operating costs, Neil. So giving us some visions about where they see things going, but the market digesting it in stride, really liking it. I think we are going to go to Adara at the green screen. She's got one of those gnarly infographics.
Yeah, let's celebrate Robinhood here. Here's an infographic, probably from a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, on Robinhood's quarterly revenue. It is up to date, so it includes Q1 2025. Of course, we'll have to add their Q2 2025 victory. But in general, Robinhood's interesting because its quarterly revenue doesn't necessarily have that sequential incline. It does overall have this uptrend. Great look here for HOOD, especially since they had their IPO around this point in the infographic here, that Q3 2021. 5 years of revenue, generally growth, especially if you look at this on a year-over-year basis. Great look here for HOOD, and you can check this out on X at TTV Research for all of your infographic and market content needs. Let's go back to the earnings.
Their guidance was. Thank you so much, Adara. Just was telling Sharif, ARM guided below the midpoint. Qualcomm was already bad, so it's not looking the best for some of the chip names. Qualcomm and ARM very similar in some regards because all about the phone market for them. But ARM down, now holding 152. That's a $12 drop, over 7% to the downside in that move. There for ARM, not looking the best. And then Qualcomm, just to go over some of the other names, because I know we're getting the party over there in the big ones, but Qualcomm still holding lower. And unfortunately for them, they are putting a spoiler in the party. And then just to go over one more, the squeeze name du jour, CVN to the A. Oh. Don't tell me it's overvalued because it's going higher once again. Sometimes valuation matters, and other times it's a squeeze. It's gorgeous. We always like it when, look, I'll tell you right now, I'm not a hedge fund. If they get squoze when this thing makes a 52-week high, when it's breaking out right now and it just broke the highs,
good.
Then I'm good. Yeah. Not my problem. I'm not the one trying to short this stock. I don't think it's worth this, but I'm not the one trying to short it. So it ain't my problem. And congratulations to anyone that happens to be long that, or Meta, or Microsoft. But that spend, so Meta guidance up, despite the fact that they are telling you that they're going to keep spending. Another all-time high, now 765.
It's so funny, though, how the market is digesting their spending completely differently than it did in 22, when they made him pay for spending on Reality Labs more than they wanted to. They're not really upset this time around with AI because you feel it's more readily monetizable in the short term. Reality Labs was like that science project that may or may not have paid dividends 5 years down the road. So I really like this, Neil.
You know what else there is?
Go.
Blood in the water with Apple. There's blood in the water with Apple. There's blood in the water with Alphabet to a lot of people in the market. So I think that is a difference in the environment because you had two names which were much stronger relatively in the Mag 7 2 years ago.
Yes.
And now all of a sudden, Meta, they're not the new kid on the block, but certainly they're hot. They're running hot. And if money is going from some Mag 7 names to others, they're digesting things very differently because Meta seemingly is going to be a big leader in the future. There's something that when I started trading, you had the four horsemen.
Okay.
And only one of them lasted, right? Like Microsoft was a top 10 market cap name when I started trading.
Okay.
20 years later, out of all those, Microsoft was the only one that's still a top 10 market cap name. So there's a reality here for our Mag 7.
Very interesting.
And I'm not saying that when we look 10, 20 years down the line that they won't all still be in that top 10. But history is not on your side. No. And right now, in this moment, out of favor Apple, to a lesser extent out of favor Alphabet, very much in favor NVIDIA, Microsoft, Meta. And what do they have in common? They've got AI figured out, and the market believes that they do, and that's all that matters. They're getting away with a ridiculous amount of spending, and they're just soaking it up, and they're buying shares, and we're loving it. So I want
to let everybody know, Neil, that if you're looking for a guide from Microsoft, it will be provided on the earnings call. Here it is. Microsoft making a statement that they will provide guidance on earnings conference call and webcast. If you're wondering what time that is, the call for Microsoft starts at 5:30. Meta's, however, is in about 45 minutes from now at 5 o'clock. So if you're involved in any of those names, it probably behooves you to listen to the call, hear what management has to say and what the direction of the company will be. ARM Holdings will be at 5. Qualcomm will be at 4:45. Lam Research is at 5 o'clock as well. So a lot of these conference calls are going to be quite telling, if not just of the guide, about the management's commentary about the direction of the company, Neil. So we'll have to keep tabs on that. But great reports. Carvana is 14% in the green, Neil, and you have have to just make an educated guess here that some people are getting squozed.
Well, I'm gonna play the world's smallest violin for the hedge funds. Look, because no, and I'll be straight up with this, because the hedge funds that make money on
I don't care about it.
Like, let's be real. How much money got made shorting things like Mullen or the weed stocks and leaning on a million companies that went to the downside? So when once or twice they get blown up or take hits, like clearly some people are in Carvana, it's all part of the game. Look at a chart of a Mullen, and then you're not going to feel sorry for any short selling firm, because they can make, like, careers get made on some of these shorts. Yeah. But Carvana is absolutely blowing it out. You're 14 in just the aftermarket here, and there actually is no sign of this slowing down. You're way past. Look, our expected move on Carvana was 12%. This is the crazy thing, right? If we look at this, we're past the expected move on Carvana. Meta, the implied move was only 6%, and we're double that on Meta, or so we're almost trying to double that on Meta, and I'm sure we have even more to come. It's so wild. We've got another look over at the green screen with Adara. Let's go over to her.
Here's Carvana. This is as of 2024, though. I made this prior to the Q4 2024 earnings, so it's his estimate. This is a little comparison here. The yellow bars are going to show the company's annual earnings, and that blue line that the car is driving through is the company's stock price. As you can see, they're really not correlated. We had that massive push here in 2020, huge push up in Carvana's stock price, but revenue not really comparative. Then we get a bit of revenue growth back to 2022, highest annual revenue for 2022, but the stock at a low. So really interesting look here. Carvana and the stock price to revenue relationship, to put a long story short, has never quite been in sync. Nice push up though for Carvana after hours. And if you like this infographic, make sure to check it out on X at TTV Research and give us a follow. Back to you.
I like the cars there that we're moving there. Nice, Adara. I want to go through some line items here, Neil. So Meta, if we can go to the screen, Chilean Nightmare, thank you. Meta platform sees reduction in U.S. federal cash tax for the remainder of the current year, as well as future years. They go on to say that they expect 2025 CapEx, including principal payments on finance leases, to actually be between $66 to $72 billion. That is 2025, not 26. CapEx. They go on to say as well, let me just see if this is repetitive. Yeah, that is the same thing over here. Yeah, it's just more of the federal tax and cash remainder for the current year. These are the line items coming in, but they did narrow their outlook for capital expenditures despite, this huge super intelligence push that Zuck has been talking about lately, making statements today as well that it's been closer, or it's closer than ever, this move for super intelligence. So we'll keep tabs on that, Neil, but fantastic look so far right now with this company. And you got to remember, I mean, I think it was the data point that I gave today, it was 90 some odd % of the revenue that Meta makes is from Facebook and Instagram, despite the fact that they want to become a devices company. And if they do, Neil, we know what physical products are like. They're not as high margin as a lot of these, digital ad sales where you get like 80 some odd % gross margins. So they're going to have to change their business model a little bit. No, not everybody's NVIDIA and has 70% gross margins on a physical product.
Well, that's 100. Well, yeah, NVIDIA, that's just a different bucket. That being said, if we've seen something with Apple, it's the ability for a great brand to reel you in and then hold you with that product. Now they're doing it the other direction. Right, where they've got everything to keep you, and then they're also going to want the device.
Absolutely.
So I think it's something that they can pull off. And let's not sleep on the other big mover in here. Now we've already talked about the big two, Microsoft. Yes. Amazon is still pressing highs as well. This is a good feather in the cap for Amazon. And I'm just going to sneak on over to, I don't know, you might have heard of this company. Some people, if you haven't, fair enough, I can understand. They're only NVIDIA, and they're only $4 trillion. And they're only making all-time highs. And they just made another all-time high. Because as we were saying, as long as the spend can be absorbed by the hyperscalers, then NVIDIA is going to win. Now, they might not have the same margins a year or 2 years from now.
Fair.
They might not have the same market share, but the pie is continuing to grow. And if the pie continues to grow, Well, they get most of it, just like my older brother, because that's how he rolled, and I would know that's how it is. And that's probably why I stayed slim.
I just like how you threw that in there.
No, it's true. Len, he's not
Little
watching it right
drama.
now. He should be, but no, he knows it's true.
I don't even think my sister knows I work here, dude. So you're in a better bucket. Neil, I want to go over some of the different line items coming here. I exaggerate for effect, obviously. Look, there's some stuff coming out here from Microsoft. Let's talk about their cloud. Let's talk about LinkedIn first. So LinkedIn revenue increased 9%, up from 8% the prior quarter. Their revenue in more personal computing was $13.5 billion, which also increased 9% year over year. Let's keep looking over here. There we go. Microsoft 365 commercial products. That increased 16% year over year. And their commercial cloud revenue also grew 18% year over year. Let's talk about the revenue in the intelligent cloud. $29.9 billion. A company can go all its life, Neil, and not even come a fraction of that, which was another 26% increase. But if you adjust for constant currency with that Forex headwind, it's up 25%. Still a monster beat. Let's talk about their OEM devices, which includes Xbox, up 3% year over year, and their services revenue increased 13% year over year. So not a bad look at all. I mean, everywhere we're looking here, it's double-digit increases.
And we know we want double-digit increases. You have to have double-digit increases. What's crazy about this is we were talking about Alphabet being the lowest or being the cheapest PE, and they're the ones that have a good report and are not going. Like, we're absorbing the higher PE right now in these other names. It is a different world for Microsoft, Meta, and NVIDIA right now. That's just how it is. But I am seeing in the chat, and this was a really, really good pun there, Hood got robbed. The concern with Robinhood, I get it. Robinhood is right back to where it started. But the concern with Robinhood is that this was a stock under $30 in April. What more are we asking for?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not even the fall yet, and this is up 3.5 times. It's very difficult. It's really hard for a stock like this at those highs, and some of that was built-in exuberance, thinking they were going to get the nod into the S&P 500. That didn't happen, all right? They went another direction. I thought it was going to be them. It's just not how it played out. So we're wrong about that one. It ended up being block. And it just, whatever you think of that decision, we're past that. It's typical. You've gone too far into earnings. Sometimes there's just a bunch of sellers taking profit. I think they're going to be fine. They're going to be in the, like, barring something unforeseen news-wise. It's like, I don't know, they'd have to, like, investigation, break some laws or whatever. They're going to get in eventually. That's how the S&P 500 works.
That's fair.
Right? Like, they're going to get in. It's a matter of time, hopefully before the end of the year. But I feel like there's just some pent-up sellers that were kind of hoping for an exit strategy. And when you run this far, that's what can happen. Good question in the chat. When is Meta going to split?
That Joseph's been talking about that for a long time.
You know, I think that discussion has to start coming in. You've broken the highs. Netflix is that. Netflix goes over a decade each time without a split.
Seriously,
I think it's like 12. Like, they did it like 11 or 12 years ago, and then before that it was like something along the same lines, double digits. So they're due. I think Meta is probably more likely, but at the same time, we're just speculating. That just makes it easier for day traders and makes it easier to play options a little bit cheaper if you get assigned. So, you know, it matters, then it doesn't matter. But what does matter the most is, like, again, those all-time highs, it's absorbing absolutely everything. And then we get to do this again tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
I have another concern now. How can Amazon and Apple possibly top this?
Well, they're not gonna. Well, maybe Amazon, but we would know. Apple in the short term, that's not gonna happen. I mean, it's just wishful thinking. Neil, I want to let you all know as well, Microsoft adding value back in the shareholders' hand via a share buyback, almost $10 billion, $9.4 billion to shareholders in the form of dividends as well as share repurchases in the fourth quarter. So great look for Softy. Are we going to Adara at the green screen? All right, Adara has an infographic related to Meta. It's okay. Sorry about that.
To Meta, this is from X at TTV Research. This one is, again, a couple quarters out of date. This is up to 2023 annual revenue, but this shows the company's annual revenue from 2011 all the way to 2023 and contextualize it with some acquisitions. Now, we know acquisitions have been huge for Meta as of late. Of course, the Scale AI stake. They also have acquired a lot of AI researchers from a variety of companies. But here's a look here. They got Instagram back here in 2012. Then 2014, we get the double whammy of Oculus and WhatsApp. They get Giphy coming up into 2021. So lots to look at here in terms of this company's acquisitions over the years. I'll have to update this with all the AI researchers that have been added. You can check that out on X at TTV Research. Back to you.
Let's go through some of these hood numbers here. I mean, it's one of the retail favorites, and it kind of requires our respect. So Q2 EPS of 42 pennies, beating the estimates of 31 pennies. The market, the outlook for the full year adjusted operating expenses expected to be 2.15 billion up to 2.25 billion. Their Q2 ends with gold subscribers. Now we know that's a high margin product at 3.5 million, not bad. Their net deposits, meaning the amount of money they took in from clients, 13.8 billion at the end of Q2, with Q3 off to a great start, in quotes, in July as customers accelerated net deposits to around 6 billion, Neil. So add to that the 13.8 we just spoke about. Their Q2 revenue, Neil, at 989 million versus the estimate of 908. That's almost a $100 million beat. Not quite, obviously, but an easy top-line beat there by Hood.
Well, you show, like, here's the thing. You're not going to find negativity in that. So I'm not going to try to explain away and say, well, we'll nitpick this and we'll nitpick that, and that's why Robinhood's heading back into the downside. What I will tell you is we already did a rant about how far it had gone to the upside. The other thing to keep in mind, what's going to happen next year? 24/5 trading.
Bang.
Who do you think benefits from 24/5 trading? Outside of the market makers, I get it. Virtu, Citadel, it'll be great for us as well. Virtu and Citadel are going to do well.
Yes,
Robinhood's going to do exceptionally well through that. That's going to help them. When the PDT rule gets reviewed, they're going to do really well for that. And that's going to happen, by the way. There's no way they go to 24/5 trading and they still have the PDT limit at $25,000. It makes no sense now. It'll make even less sense when they go to 24/5. So that's a win for Robinhood in the long term. I'm not saying that it has to go up here, but when you have a good report and when you have a lot of positive catalysts and you've got a lot of people that believe in the company, you're going to look for some opportunities to buy the dip. And I think we'll see some of that tomorrow morning. No idea. We could gap higher. We could gap lower. We'll play that by ear, but there's a lot of good things coming down the pipeline, I think, for Robinhood. And everything I said, that applies. Everything I said applies to Coinbase. Everything I said applies to a certain extent to places like Webull and SoFi that we've already mentioned. But yeah, there's certainly a lot that's good under the hood. Yeah,
and I got more information here. So, Neil, they have 26.5 million funded customers. That's a 620,000 customer increase month over month. And they have about 2.37 million new customers year over year, if you're looking at the quarter. The total platform assets, so all the assets, I mean, crypto, cash deposits, equities, you name it, $278.6 billion, reflecting a 9% month over month and a 99% year over year increase, Neil, meaning they had half that amount last year. Additionally, the equity notional volumes reached almost $180 billion, which is a 108% year over year increase. What a fantastic look here for Robinhood. You have to assume here, though, given the strength of this name and what it's been doing lately, this got to be a little bit of profit taking here. And it's up. It's up 2 1/3.
Of course. Oh, my goodness. Those are impressive numbers.
Those are ridiculous numbers.
Those are mic drop. I know it's not performing the way you want it to, but those would be mic drop numbers if Meta hadn't blown it out of the water the way that they did. But let's remember, Meta and Microsoft, fantastic. I do want to, and I know a lot of people in the chat, it's like, we're going to focus on the big ones. ARM, still down at the lows. ARM, their guidance was a miss, and that's the real story here. You're down 8%. Qualcomm also down.
Yes, sir.
I think that's, if there's going to be something that shows you weakness, it could be those two names and what it means for some of the demand in chip. But remember, they're not as big, the AI plays, in the chip space, right? So yeah, it's not great, but it's not going to scare you away from the run that necessarily NVIDIA and AMD have been on. So I just want to get that out of the way because it's been an absolute barn burner for earnings today. And I think we should be happy with the results we saw. There's a couple of kinks in the armor, ARM being one of them, Qualcomm being another. Robinhood reaction maybe a little bit mixed, but wow. Unbelievable.
Should we go over some forward numbers here super quick?
Go right back because the guide you're talking about on Meta.
On Meta?
Oh, no,
on Ford. I was just going to give everybody Ford.
Oh, yeah, Ford reported.
Yeah, they're down 5.6%. But I'm not really surprised there, guys. I mean, look, they make some nice cars, Neil. I just don't think that they've got their ducks in a row. Let's talk about it. $3 billion gross tariff hit. They're saying, Neil, in 2025, up from the $2.5 billion they estimated. They also see tariffs adding about $800 million in expenses just in the second quarter, and they did issue annual guidance of EBIT of around 6.5 to 7.5 million. Now, you'll recall they did pull guidance last time. Remember, they issued guidance for the annual result on Wednesday after suspending it in May to assess kind of the impact that the Trump tariffs have had. Right. They now plan to record a full year adjusted earnings before interest and tax of 6.5 to 7.5 billion. That's down from the February numbers of this year where they were guiding, Neil, 7 billion up to 8.5 billion. And for the latest quarter, they're reporting a 21% decrease in earnings per share, down to 37 cents. They recorded a net loss. They're not even making money, my goodness, of $36 million, primarily due to what they say are charges related to the cancellation of that 3-row electric SUV that, for whatever reason, they were making. Cost them $570 million to run and cancel that program.
You know what this reminds me of? I was forced into action in high school to pitch a game. I was an outfielder.
Here.
And I remember our catcher at the time, he comes out, and it's like in the second inning, he's like, man, like, you got nothing. Do we have something else? He goes, well, my guy was a fastball changeup guy. I'm like, well, okay. I got a little bit of a cutter. He's like, he looked at me dead in the eye. Well, it better be something because we're going to need it. Whew. And I wasn't a pitcher. And Ford needs something.
I know, man. I feel bad. I don't want to crap on them. I really
don't.
No,
I know. It's not about crapping on them. They need something. And ultimately, your legacy business is clearly not winning the day. You got a dividend you can work with here. You got nothing else. You got a dividend. You have such loyal customers to that F-150, and you're not really doing anything with it in the future. So I do want to shout out. I know we're gonna wrap things up here. But Adam DeLuz, thank you so much. Absolute pleasure listening to you, Sharif and Adair this evening. Thank you. It's gonna be even better tomorrow because these two got to do it all over again, and Shot will be here when you get Apple and Amazon and a host of others. So it's gonna be huge. Also, remember, you still have some conference calls to work through tonight as well. So Robinhood's call should be interesting. I think Hood was already bouncing, by the way.
Yeah, man. I mean, we're 3% here in the green. Just going to go over some of the names here, Neil. If we can go to my screen, Fabian. So Meta, guys, 8.6% off the highs. They're in a 772. Fantastic report. Softy, not far behind, 7.5% for the now $4 trillion market cap as of right now, almost 4.1, might I add. Hood up 3.5% on a great report. We'll see how this one reacts later. But Carvana, in terms of percentage winner after markets, Neil, 15 1/3 and going. Fantastic look there. Qualcomm down 6.25%. Haven't been able to parse through that report quite yet. APLD, Applied Digital, also up 6.25% here after the bell. ARM and Qualcomm, competitors, Neil, they're both down 6.25% for Qualcomm, 7 2/3 for ARM, and Lam Research, part of that semiconductor group, up 3.6%, and as we mentioned, 5.5 or 5.25 in the negative. Last but not least, I know there's more. eBay up 7 2/3 here in the pre-market, and the aftermarket, excuse me.
Yeah, and Bull Shark saying Zuck is doing cartwheels. He's doing backflips, baby. You got to level it up a little bit. The guy's he's doing MMA and stuff. I'm sure. Cartwheels? Oh, man. All-time highs. He's past cartwheels, everybody, but it's been an absolute blast doing the market recap with you. But we got one thing we do before we get out of here. First, hit the like, hit the subscribe, jump in the chat. Let's get a little roll call action. It's tradition around here. If it's your first time through, type in the chat. Give a shout-out to someone on our team, whether you want to shout out Sharif, Adara, obviously Joey Options.
Just not Ram
fills in.
Just not Ram, Neil.
Okay, I'm gonna save her for last. whether it's Andre, the Assassino, the Chilean Nightmare, Fabian, my man Sean Katina, Brendo.
Adara.
We have a great team here. Adara, of course, as well. Or the absolute backbone of Trader TV Live and the kindest human being that you will find on this team. Ramin,
doesn't start with an R, does it?
Thank you so much, Ramin, for everything you do. So jump in the chat. And here's what I want you to type. Everyone type in Team Ram Ram. And let's get a little roll call action. Let's go. Shout it out to everyone in here. We got Pop7731. The Juice is in here. Mike the Rider, Adam DeLuce, CompuCare Team, BTC Heaven. We got Nava. We got I missed that one too fast. Jarhead, Showtime in the chat. Notorious Dinkelberg, I saw Jules. Now it's going way too fast. Team Ram Ram, everybody. It's way too fast. Math 9743, I saw him there. The Juice again. It was Tyler Smith. We got Greg Salute.
See what I mean, Neil?
This is insane. Everyone is Team Ram Ram. Grace, Farmhand in the chat. Vaughn, I saw here. Giles, Bellfeld, Donkey Traders in there. That's what I'm talking about. And everybody is Team Ram Ram. More importantly, everybody is Team Trader TV Live. It's an absolute blast doing this, especially in earnings season. You know what? We get to do it again tomorrow.
Yeah, we do. We'll be pumped.
8:30 in the morning, everybody.
Absolutely.
Right back, reviewing all the earnings, trading the whole day. Then we got Apple and Amazon after the bell. This has been your market recap show brought to you by Beta Pro. Shout out to you. Great job today. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Good night, guys.
I pity the fool that doesn't hit the like and subscribe button.